This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Out of District 6A, it's the Hawks and the Farmers. Hebron and Lewisville from Max Goldsmith Stadium have it for you here on Champion Sports Radio. We do greet you live from Lewisville. We are Champion Sports Radio, and we very proudly present our continuing coverage of Texas schoolboy football as we track the Hebron Hawks for the 2014 season. Welcome in on a lovely evening to Max Goldsmith Stadium. We're on the campus of Lewisville High School, hard off of State Farm to Market Highway 1171 to our left, a.k.a. Main Street in this part of town. Tonight's District 6A matchup featuring the Hebron Hawks and the homestanding Fighting Farmers of Lewisville High School. Permission to broadcast tonight's high school football game has been granted to Champion Sports Radio by the Lewisville Independent School District and the University Interscholastic League. No other broadcast of this origination is permitted without written authorization from Champion Sports Radio, the Lewisville ISD, and the UIL. The University Interscholastic League been governing extracurricular activities here in the Lone Star State since way back in 1910, this birthday number 105 for the UIL. Hi again, everybody. Brad Denton, joined by a full cast of characters that make up the Champion Sports Radio production crew. Trent Lynch is here, our statistician, back in the saddle after a week's hiatus. Weston Lynch, of course, our remote engineer, producer, and our spotter, he's on hand. And Pete Nielsen, as always, joins me on the broadcast. And Peter, well, with Trent's return to the fray here tonight, I mentioned our Champion Sports Radio crew shuffling a full deck up here, and I don't think the same's going to be said by the Hebron Hawks.
Well, thanks, Brad. Then good evening, everybody. Welcome in once again to another week of Hebron Hawk football here on Champion Sports Radio. And, Brad, you're right. You're going to lose two. Looks like two guys won't be playing for sure. Talking about center Brian Drew, who's out with a knee injury. Good news for Brian is he'll be back probably after the bye week for the Allen game. Defensively, you lose your defensive end, David Brazel, who has a broken bone in his foot, had surgery yesterday. Hopes for David is that he'll be back second or third last game of the season. So good news there. And then you have one that's going to try to gut it out, and your leader defensively, Clay Holford, who's going to play with a hyperextended elbow as long as the pain doesn't become too increased. So tough loss last week, and boy, we talked about it last week, how the Hawks really battled through, and of course the result was disappointing, but you know the effort still shows a week later.
Pete, let me first address those injuries you brought up to Drew, to David Brazel, to Clay Holford. Those are all fresh injuries. In addition to that, we've bemoaned the fact that we've lost offensive tackle extraordinaire Zach Rogers for the season, Isaiah Gary, surgery week before last.
Don't forget about Omar Hicks-Uno, who hasn't played a down for the Hawks, Brad, but Brian Brazel said it best last week, and I kind of chuckled when he said it. There's no waivers in high school football. You can't go find somebody, and you got to go with what you have, and they'll play hard again tonight, and they'll battle, and that's something that always a Hebron Hawk team will do, but yeah, they're banged up.
You mentioned last week Hebron's latest loss. The Hawks are now sitting at 0-4 on the 2014 season. And of the four loss one, this one the toughest one to swallow. Yet we were up here button-busting proud of the effort they have. 3 overtimes it goes. Marcus escapes with the win at Hawk Stadium by a final 24-21.
Well, when you got guys playing both ways like Hebron did last week and Garbett and Brazel, even though he was hurt, and you have a young man making 18 tackles, we'll talk about him later in the broadcast. It's hard to try to get rid of loss that quickly. And in talking to Coach Brazel, he talked about practice on Monday not being very good. The kids were still down, disappointed.
Said I had to apologize to him on Tuesday for tripping over my bottom lip throughout practice on Monday.
The good news is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday there were good practices. And you know what? They'll be ready to play. But you're right. That was a tough loss to a very, very physical football team in Flower Mound Marcus, and a team that had the luxury of rotating people in and out on both sides of the ball almost the whole football game. We even saw it in the overtime, how they were able to do that. And eventually the Hawks did wear down, but, my friend, not lack of effort.
What a battle. For Hebron, 2 of the losses airtight, 2 of them rather lopsided. One of those in the season opener at Coppell, 52-30, that final there. Game 2, very close. Denton Ryan, the Raiders, over the Hawks, 27-21. District 6-6A opener on the road at Plano. Not as close maybe as that 35-14 final may have indicated. And we mentioned they don't get any tighter than the triple overtime loss to Marcus a week ago. Meanwhile, Lewisville, this is a program that's fallen on some fairly lean times over the past handful of seasons, including 2013 when they closed with 3 wins and 7 losses. But these Farmers can point to a middle game winner of the 3 they have played. By the way, Lewisville, a loser in the opener by that 24-21 final to Rowlett right here. Go on the road at Birdville ISD Fine Arts and Athletic Complex and reach the high water mark in the point production department for sure. 47-21, Farmers over the Rebels of Richland 3 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, District 6-6A opener over at Marauder Stadium, Marcus 28-6 better than the Farmers, and Lewisville coming off the bye week for the Farmers.
You mentioned head coach Craig Miller, and an import up from Katy, and in his 3rd year, and things have not gone, well for him. Let's be honest. 5-18 over the 3 years. And over the last 5 years, a district record of 1-29. So lean times here at Lewisville High School. But as you were talking about as we prepared this week, Brad, lots of tradition here. And you look in the stands, and for a team that hasn't won many football games over the last couple of years, this place filling up already.
Hey, don't kid yourself. There's some generational fandom here, and for very good reason at Lewisville High School. Of course, this is the original high school in the northern suburb of Lewisville. It dates way back, even before Walt Garrison was running the football here in the early 60s for the Farmers. But overall, 30 times they have punched the ticket to the playoffs. Their most recent playoff appearance some 6 seasons ago, back in 2007. That was the last winning season here, that 2007 bunch that went 8-4. Since then, a couple of times to 3 wins, but the rest of the time 1s and 2s in the win column. 2-time state champs. I mean, you turn the clock back, Peter, just a mere 20 years, and Lewisville was right sandwiched between those 2 state championships, were one at the Class 5A level in 1993 and in 1996. And one of the guys pacing the sidelines in the maroon coaching jersey for those Farmers back in the 90s, on their way and winning the state championships, was Hebron's own Brian Brazel.
That's right. And if you don't know what this football team has done over the years, when you're driving north on I-35, take a look at the water tower. It tells you they're state champions, but the state championships and how good this program has been over the years. The matchup with Hebron, not so good for Lewisville. They played 8 times. Lewisville has come out the loser all 8 times. The last one last year, a 37-24 victory for Hebron over at the Woodshed.
Yeah, and none of them really close, save the 2008 ball game, which was played right here. That was a good 8-win, 4-loss Hebron team, and somehow they were able to sleepwalk their way to a 10-3 win over the Farmers right here. Other than that, the wins for Hebron, all of the double-digit variety.
And this is a Hebron team, back to talking about the Hawks a little bit, desperate for something good to happen. 0-4, you mentioned, after the loss last week. Just need something good to happen early.
They have the 5-game losing streak dating back to that first round or second round playoff exit in 2013.
That was a pretty good football team that they lost to.
Amen. In fact, all four that Hebron lost to a year ago were really good football teams, including a couple of would-be state champions. Hebron a year ago finished it out at 8 wins and 4 losses. But the Hawks, again, nothing for 4 on the 2014 season, while Lewisville enters in front of the home crowd with 1 win in their 3 ball games. The Hebron Hawks are on Champion Sports Radio. The broadcast of Lewisville ISD football is sponsored this evening by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. With a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram from Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, well, you get a reliable and a stylish new car, and you'll get it at a price that won't break the bank. Also by Whirly Ball, with 2 locations to serve you, both in Plano and Hurst. Leagues are forming at either location as we speak. Visit them online at whirlyball.info. By In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company, by the way, online at incommandbroadcasting.com. By Point of Origin Design, that's a full-service design logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. Online at pointoforigindesign.com. By shockboxdfw.com. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head injury which could result in a concussion. Visit shockboxdfw.com today. By the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. You're invited to enjoy a cultural experience. Do it with your family and without breaking the bank. Visit gdyo.org for more information. Hebron Hawks football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio. On Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and of course online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. Our pregame programming presented by Whirly Ball will continue as we visit with Hebron head coach Brian Brazel on the other side of the timeout on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huffines has it.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hurst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
As Hebron head coach Brian Brazel joins us, I remind you our pregame show is presented each week by Whirly Ball. And Coach B, what a taffy pull a week ago. Marcus 24, Hebron 21, that in 3 overtimes. And I think we were all touched by your postgame comments addressing your Hawks. And you said, I couldn't be any prouder of them. I couldn't love them anymore.
Well, I mean, they battled. It was, good game. I mean, Marcus is a good football team, and they did a great job of, finding ways to get the ball, in the third quarter and get the score tied up. And then I just thought both teams just battled with everything they had. I mean, they were throwing guys in both ways. We were throwing guys in both ways. We were doing everything we could to try to find a way to win a football game. And we played through 2 overtimes, and neither team had scored yet. And, they get to the third overtime, and we missed a field goal, and they ended up making theirs by a hair. And it's just the way it was. It was exuberance for their kids, which we would have had the same thing had we won it, and so they celebrated. But, it was a great game, and a lot of people told me what a great game it was. Of course, it wasn't great for us because we didn't win it, but at the same time, I mean, our kids battled hard, and like I said, they gave everything they had, and but, like anything else, you got to move forward, get ready for the next game.
And a heavy toll to pay, what with the fresh rash of Hebron injuries, as many as 3 starters from that Marcus Freitas possibly idled tonight with injury.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of ironic. I mean, after the game was over, I kind of looked around and thought to myself, I said, well, at least nobody got hurt tonight. And then I walked in, showered, and then I started walking down toward, and they said, hey, the trainers need to see you. And so I went down to the trainer room, and my son was on crutches, and they said he probably has a foot fracture. And then Clay was getting his elbow looked at, and Brian was getting his knee looked at. And so, Clay may have a chance to play tonight. Depends on how he feels during pregame. Brian should be back for our next football game. The good news, those guys will be back. David will probably be back for the last game, maybe possibly the 9th game. But we'll see how that plays out. But at least we'll get those guys back eventually before the season's over. But, it was one of those nights. It was a physical football game played by both teams, and when you do that, that's sometimes what can happen.
I'm thrilled to know him by first-name basis, but for those who may not, Brian, of course, your starting center, been a rock for a couple of years, Brian Drew, and glad to hear he may be back very soon. David, the one you mentioned, your son, that's David Brazel, pair of 4s on the Hawk jersey, and he will be idled with a foot injury until perhaps week number 10. And the linebacker you mentioned is Clay Holford, and a 3-year starter inside backer, iffy at best, with the hyperextended elbow. Brian, one that has remained healthy for you is your number 22, Angelo Garbett. Brings up another 100-plus yards rushing a week ago, but particularly what a terrific defensive debut for Angelo last week against the Marauders.
Yeah, I mean, Angelo's a warrior. I mean, he can play for anybody. He's a kid that, offensively he's just been a, stalwart for us all year. And then last week we worked him in on defense, and again, to be honest, if he wouldn't have been in there playing defensively, it probably wouldn't have been the situation we were in to be able to get to an overtime. He just brings a lot to the table. He's a physical football player. He just runs the ball play so hard, and it's tough to play both ways. It's tough to be a kid that does that, but I know Angelo is a kid that wants to do whatever it takes to help us win football games. And if it means playing both ways, and a lot of these kids are the same way, then, hey, they're all for it. Whatever it takes to give us the best chance to win a game, they're going to be for it to do it.
Brian, on the road here to Lewisville, certainly friendly confines for you, and long time you've spent here on the sidelines at Max Goldsmith Stadium. What do we have on our hands here? That's a 1-win, 2-loss Fighting Farmer outfit.
Well, I mean, Coach Miller's come in, he's just going to be his third year here at Lewisville, and I think obviously the thing he's brought to the table is a strong defensive background, being the former defense coordinator at Katy High School, and He's a great guy, good man. He's done a great job with these kids. They've had some injuries themselves as well, and they've been kind of battling. So in a lot of ways, we're kind of going through a lot of the same things. But, I expect them. They're a strong defensive team. They'll play hard, to play well, be very sound in everything they're doing. And offensively, again, their quarterback does a good job of moving the ball around and get good receivers out there. And, of course, they're going to mix in the running game as well. But, again, they just they're very well coached. Your kids play hard. It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, both teams are really, really needing wins, And so when you got two teams in situations like we're both in, it should be a great game tonight with two teams fighting to get on the right, the left side of the correct side of the ledger, with that W on their side. And so, again, that's something we really are fighting hard to get tonight, but couldn't be proud of these kids, the way they bowed and the way they're working. But again, we know that Lewisville will be well prepared for the game tonight.
Brian, let me say this. Your Hawks do just keep battling, and we do appreciate that. Thanks for the time. Good luck.
Absolutely.
Brian Brazel, 15th-year head coach, a man who is Hebron Hawk football. Game number 169 for his Hawks, and with Coach Brazel taking dead aim at win number 106. Pre-game programming presented by Whirly Ball continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Heinz Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute. Online at gdyo.org/jazz.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Along with Pete Nielsen, I'm Brad Denton. We are Champion Sports Radio, and glad to have you with us for a portion of your Friday evening. We're continuing to count down to kickoff, and a pretty healthy crowd continues to roll in here at Max Goldsmith Stadium. And Peter, if I'm if I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing, it's confirmation. It has to be middle school band night here at the house tonight.
Well, either that or they got some kids with instruments in the wrong place. Yeah, the whole one end of the end zone is covered with kids and
instruments.
And instruments. So, and Weston made a good point. This Lewisville school, this high school, always has a big band, and now even double or triple the size of it tonight with all the middle schoolers. So yeah, festive atmosphere here today at Max Goldsmith Stadium.
You look around other District 6-5A games, and there would be 3 others on the agenda this evening. Peter?
Yeah, and you got Allen traveling over to Marcus, and that should be a good football game. And Flower Mound and Dane Johnson go over to take on the Plano Wildcats, who had the long week. They played last Thursday, if you recall, and lost to Allen. So they're going to get a chance to get back on the field. And Plano West and McKinney Boyd playing in a game that features the 2 best running backs maybe in the state, in Soso Jamambo and a young man by Derek Scrivens at Boyd. Outstanding, both of them.
Well, if you look at District 6A through a couple of weeks, Allen sharing the top spot. The Eagles 4-0 and 2-0 in district play. Marcus likewise 2-0 in district play. The Marauders 3-1 overall. Plano West has played 3. They've won all 3 with an early district bye. The Wolves at 1-0 in 6A play. McKinney Boyd at level 1-1. Plano Wildcats at a level 1-1. And 0-1. Lewisville 0-2. Flower Mound 0-2 are the Hebron Hawks. But we'll see if the Hawks can find the win column. We'll be back to kick this one off after the timeout on Champion Sports Radio.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number 1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
All right, Mr. Nielsen, let's talk about the Farmers and the Hawks, particularly offensively. Lewisville, a relatively paltry, 235, 240 a game offensively?
$129 on the ground and 107 yards through the air. That's right, Brad, 236 yards per game offensively. For the Hawks, really nice numbers rushing-wise. They're averaging almost 300 yards a game rushing, 278 yards a game. But the passing game, let's just say it's suffering at only 29 yards a game. Hebron comes into this one averaging 307 yards a game offensively. And you talk about Hebron rushing the football, it starts with number 22, Angelo Garbett.
Very special. The numbers on Garbett. He is senior, 6'2", 210 pounds, 98 carries, 669 yards, 5 touchdowns. And by trade, the youngster is a terrific linebacker.
And we saw that last week, Brad. He makes such a difference on this football team when he's on the defense, and you'll probably see him go both ways again tonight. And looks like we had the toss of the coin, and looks like the Hebron Hawks are going to receive the football.
Well, and Hebron will deploy Angelo Garbett on the near side, and on the far side is Christian Dawson, the speedster. Lewisville, by the way, won the toss. They deferred decision, so Hebron, dressed in all black, topped with white headgear, will be the receiving team, and they will move from north to south and into a relatively healthy breeze will be into the face of the Hawks. That breeze kicking up out of the south-southeast. Lewisville, by the way, dressed in all gray, a very light gray. That's a maroon headgear, the interlocking LF on either side. The kicker is Matt McDonald. He gets the word and the approach. And this will be Angelo Garbett. The high kick fielded at the 5. Garbett veers right to the 10 across the 20 and tripped up at the 26 and sails out to his 28-yard line. And on the kick cover tackle is Josh Lund. Hebron offensively will open with Jonathan Wang spelling Brian Drew, the injured starting center. Wang will cover the football. He'll be flanked by guards Jarrett Farley and Devin Wright. Stephen McCarty lines up at left tackle. At right tackle is Hayden Seeley. Receiving corps, Christian Dawson and Derek Mueller will look for Chris Brayman to open at fullback, and there he is. And then we will see Angelo Garbett at the tail, who will take a handoff. Will Garbett, he's carrying an average of nearly 25 carries a ball game, and off left tackle, he'll gain only one, met in the hole by the linebacker, George Haskins. The starting quarterback for Hebron is the junior Colton Chapin, not large, 5'10 and 160.
Brad, this is a smaller defense than Hebron's seen in the last couple of weeks, and that time you mentioned Haskins. He went under the offensive line to make that tackle. Not much of a gain on first down.
Second down and 9. Toss, try to go to the edge, right side. Garbett hit once, twice, and there's the gang tackle and no gain. On the right side, third down and very long for Hebron. Christian Lee, a nose guards there, an outside linebacker, Cody Kearns, and there's one Mr. George Haskins one more time. It's Miles Myers along with Kobe Neal, the former defensive ends, Lee at nose guard. Haskins an inside backer, Nick Patton an inside linebacker. Cody Kearns and Kenny Phillips are the outside linebackers. Cortez Thomas and Corey Williams man the corners, and Josh Lung along with Matt Kibbe are the former safeties. Here's the play-action pass. A man open in the far flat. Christian Dawson bobbles it and finally has it. He's pulled away from the ball while he was juggling it on 2 runs. That's Lund on the cover who was able to separate Christian Dawson in the left flat from the bobbling football. It goes incomplete. Hebron with a 4th and 9, a 3-and-out to open up play.
Good coverage that time by Lund, but the ball delivered perfectly by Chapman. And if you ask Christian Dawson, he probably could have come up with that one, but Hebron 3-and-out on their first offensive position.
Corey Williams deployed along with Trinity Benson, dual safety. Hebron punter is Jake Gennard. The deep snapper, Stanton Turley. Gennard takes a knee-high snap, pulls it out, rips it down the field. A nice punt into the wind. A fair catch is called for and made cleanly by Corey Williams, and Lewisville will take over at the Farmer 30-yard line. Again, an offense on average 235 yards a night. The quarterback, a junior, in Adrian Villarreal. Now, there is a marker down near midfield, and let us see what we have. We hear from our officiating crew for the first time. And while they sort it out, we introduce them as referee Rick Ford, Derwin King, our umpire. Danny Bowman, the head linesman. Rodney Hamilton, the line judge. And the back judge there is Timothy Sandridge.
That's unsportsmanlike conduct. Both teams
trying to keep a lid on this early. So
Brian's on the field already.
With palms up, by the way. So as we were, if you will, after the offsetting unsportsmanlike conducts. Lewisville working from their 30-yard line, first down and 10. That's a junior signal caller, Adrian Villarreal. The running back is Carl McGee, a senior at 5'10 and 190. Hebron digs in with that 3-4 defensive look. I see where Clay Holford's giving it a go with the hyper-extended elbow at inside linebacker. Quick pass, Villarreal on the far side. That's complete. The gain of 5, 7, maybe 8 yards to the 38-yard line. Jordan Johnson is on the tackle. It's Trinity Benson looking in 10th catch of the year. Benson returning starter. That catch number 10, good for 8 yards. Now with 120 yards on the 10 grabs is Benson. And he is the favorite target for Villarreal, who had completed 23 of 47 into the game. Second down and a long 2 from the 38. Airborne once more. Villarreal in the pocket, flushed out, scrambling for a first down across his 40, and Adrian runs out of real estate, and he's buried. Holford a piece of the tackle along with Jamison Cooper. The pair of inside linebackers collaborate on the stop of the scrambling Adrian Villarreal at the former 44-yard line.
Good coverage that time by the Hawks. Nowhere for him to go, but they lose the containment on the far side, Brad, and Villarreal saw it right away. Quick feet to get out of that pocket, pick up that first down.
All juniors up front for Hebron. The nose guard, Jarrett Lee. The defensive ends, Nathan Grant and Julian Harris. Now rolling left, Villarreal fires it to the boundary, and that is caught. And it's Benson one more time. This time the grab up the ladder in Hebron territory, coming down with it at the Hawk 43 and tackled immediately by safety Colton Chapin.
And that's Chapin, who's playing a corner tonight, Brad. And yeah, that's Colton Chapin, the starting quarterback for the Hawks. And a lot of room given to the wide receiver on this side, and Villarreal shows good arm strength to get that football out there, and good coverage, though, with good closing after the catch, but not until they pick up their second first down.
Jamison Cooper and Clay Holford, the inside linebackers. Kobe Eberhardt, along with Angelo Garbett, work at the outside linebackers. You mentioned Chapin at a safety. Here's Villarreal to the boundary. That's caught at the 36, and Colton Chapin will ride the receiver out of bounds right there. And on the catch is Cameron Creel, a 9th catch on the year for Creel. And this will advance the football in Hebron territory to the Hawk 36.
Again, very soft on the corners. Chapin way off, maybe 5, 6, 7 yards off the ball. The other side, Jelani Heath, he's 10 yards off the ball. So you may see Eric Mock bringing these corners up a little bit if they continue to dunk on him. But then when you do that, you have to be careful for the deep pass over the middle.
A couple of first downs, and the Farmers have yet to go on the ground. It's McGee at running back. Out of that pistol set, they'll throw to the right side. That's caught by Benson. Trinity Benson moves for a first down to the 30 and rolled out of bounds in the vicinity of the Hebron 28-yard line by Jelani Heath, the corner on the far side.
Well, before the play, I mentioned, Brad, how far off the ball the corners are. And it's easy for Lewisville right now because they're just dumping it in front, and the receiver's trying to make people miss. Hebron's doing a good job of tackling after the catch, but 6, 7, 8 yards of carry for Villarreal. Trent, what is he?
4 for 4, 35 yards.
That's a great start for the young man.
Villarreal, one of the captains, and only stands 5'10" and pretty thick through the hips, but moves around the pocket pretty well. That first down earned at Hebron's 29. Here's the Farmers. They'll go running play straight ahead. Carl McGee bounces off one tackler, puts a head down off the ricochet, and drives for 4 to the Hebron 25. Jordan Johnson into support from the safety position. On the tackle of the leading Farmer ball carrier, 50th run of the year right there, now 186 yards for Carl McGee.
That's hard running that time, picks up 4 yards, and the interior of that Hebron defense that was really good last week. Jamison Cooper, Clay Holford, and the free strong safety Caleb Sauter all closing on the ball.
New running back in the game for the Farmers, McGee out and Robert Taylor in. Again from a pistol set. Villarreal off a quick count, a stretch play, and that's a handoff to Taylor, an off-right tackle. He'll put the head down and plant and go straight north and pick up a first down before he's weighed down at the Hebron 19 by defensive end Nathan Grant. So after Hebron took the opening kickoff and a 3-and-out possession, this particular Farmer possession began back at the Lewisville 30-yard line, and they are marching now back-to-back first downs, and the latest earned at Hebron's 19. From the right hash mark, Villarreal, they have gone straight pistol set, looking to throw, shoot it out of the backfield, tagged after the catch was made, and a big hit by Caleb Sauter on the receiver, and that's Spencer Greider, only his second catch of the year. Greider, a tight end, kind of floating out there, a second receiver in the left flat.
Yeah, we talk about the hit by Sauter. Sauter's the young man I spoke about in the open with 18 tackles last week for Hebron, and talked to him in the pregame a little bit. Said, yeah, I got dinged too, and my arm was killing me, but had to keep playing, had to try to get that win, and that's the kind of spirit and gut that team played with last week.
Said he had a stinger in the ball game. And of the 18 tackles, 15 solos for Sauter. Here's a running play, and that's Taylor. Right tackle, gain of 2. Down to Hebron's 15-yard line. And now all of a sudden a 3rd down and 6. Sauter one more time featured on the stop. with some late help. Non at the ankles, defensive end Julian Harris.
12th play of the drive, Brad, and only their first third down opportunity. So really been very productive on first and second down. Hebron needs to find a way to get a stop here.
Line to gain is the 9. They need a half dozen from the 15. They'll put a couple of receivers to the right side, the short side, and 2 more left in an empty backfield with quarterback Adrian Villarreal. A quick drop, a look left, a throw left, and nobody home inside the 10-yard line, or 5-yard line. It goes incomplete. Trinity Benson perhaps in the neighborhood, but Jordan Johnson covering was even closer to the errant pass.
And Hebron, Brad, I don't know if you saw it, but they just couldn't get lined up right. Hebron got a break there that Villarreal missed his guy because there was a lot of pointing and a lot of miscommunication going on. Looks like they're going to get the stop, and the young field goal kicker's on the field for Lewisville.
Yeah, this is Matt McDonald, the junior. He already has 4 field goals on the year, and this will be an attempt from the far hash mark at the 22 from 32 yards out. Ramirez will snap Bob to hold. The spot's down, and McDonald's on the way, has the distance, and he's good from 32 yards away. That first quarter clock will freeze at 5:01 and flash up a new score on the board at Goldsmith Stadium. It's Lewisville 3 and Hebron nothing on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huffines has it.
Lewisville's first possession ends in points. A Matt McDonald 32-yard field goal. Trent Lynch, tell us about that drive.
An efficient drive for the Fighting Farmers. 11 plays, 55 yards, 5 minutes, 30 seconds off the clock. Adrian Villarreal, 5 for 6 for 37 yards on the first drive for the Farmers.
Pretty good. McDonald with a 5th field goal of the year. And Peter, as you mentioned, 32 yards, 3-0 Farmers. Here's McDonald to kick it off to the ever-dangerous Garbett. To Angelo from the 7. Right hash mark 20, 25, and tripped up and sails out to near the 27. From there, Hebron will go to work. Matthew Kibbe, who will stay on the ball yard as a starting safety for the Farmers, is on the tackle, covering the kickoff, and springing Angelo Garbett off of his feet around the 25. Garbett surfaces first down 10, Hebron from the 27.
Brad, and it's the same old story defensively when teams are playing the Hawks. They're just cramming the line of scrimmage. Hebron's been still able to run the football, but again, if you look, there's 9 in the box, so you got to be careful here. Maybe a little play action on first down would be a new wrinkle.
Here's Chapin running play, toss sweep, Garbett outside, left side, turn on the corner, stiff arms a man on his way 50, sideline 40, and knocked out of bounds in Farmer territory near the Lewisville 40-yard line. And a very late flag on the play, long after Garbett had been shucked over the far boundary.
Or just flip it to Angelo Garbett, and he'll go do big things for you, but we'll see what the flag is.
I think this is a post-play infraction. George Haskins at linebacker finally able to run down.
Why are they marking it way back here?
I think it's 15 yards, post-play personal foul. Let's see.
No, I believe that they called Garbett out of bounds.
Oh, did they?
At the 47.
Now we're going to get the infraction indication. Here's Rick Ford.
No, we're not.
Is going to say dead ball.
No, we're
post-play. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Hebron.
Well, then blow the whistle.
I don't think he stepped out of bounds there, Trent. I think he stepped out of bounds downfield. No, here's the mark off. You're right. From there, it's 15 yards. Beg your pardon. Dare I ever question one of you Lynch boys?
well, here's my point. Blow the whistle if he went out of bounds. How come why is he still running? If he blows the whistle, there's no penalty. These guys, we don't know where we never heard of these guys, and now maybe we're finding out why. Well, get the pink pearl eraser out, partner.
And Hebron will go to work from their 32. By the way, it is a first and 10. Trey Pugh into the ball game at running back.
This is post-possession.
Now Chapin is going to run behind a Pugh block outside to the right side. Turn it up, not for much. To gain of 2. And rolled up like a window shade was Colton Chapin by inside backer Nick Patton at the 34.
That's the JV call-up, Brad, in at quarterback on that run.
There he is.
And he ran into Pugh. So he's a little excited, and Pugh's trying to get him a block. He's got to, calm down a little bit and let Pugh throw a block. That's the young man called up from the JV.
Yeah, a sophomore, Richard Dodd, wears a number 12. Now he's under center. Dodd will toss to Garbett. Garbett inside, pushes the pile above the 35, and he'll gain 3 to his 37. And from right there, Hebron will be confronted with 3rd down and 5. Now, Richard Dodd, George Haskins. That's a tackler right there. 4th tackle of the ball game. We're early on, 3:50 first quarter. Credited to one George Haskins, the junior inside former linebacker. Now Pugh into the ball game at running back. Hebron confronted with 3rd down and 5. The Dodd draw play. That's going to be Pugh, first down, then plenty more across the 45, and he'll ride it for the gain out to the 49 to the midfield stripe, and Josh Lunn. A Farmer's safety on a very belated tackle. Nice run there by Trey Pugh. We spewed the superlatives about the 670 yards rushing for Garbett. Pugh, very nicely done. 150 through 4 ball games.
That's a great block by Devin Wright that time, pulling out of his guard position to lead the way. And Trey Pugh finding daylight. Big first down for the Hawks, 2nd of the day.
It's earned at midfield. Hebron from the right hash, near side. This is Dodd. Handing it away. Pugh caught behind the line, spinning. And there's a fumble.
He was down.
And a Lewisville Farmer has picked it up and is heading to the end zone. And carrying it to the 10 to the 5 is Cortez Thomas. And if it stands, it is going to stand. No flag, no whistle. Touchdown, Lewisville, returning the Trey Pugh fumble from around the Hebron 45-yard line.
It looked like Trey was down, but Trent gives me the look and saying, he was at that ball was out. And boy, this Lewisville defense swarms to the football, and now they come out with a little swinging gate action.
This on the point after touchdown. The Farmers are sitting on a 9. And Matt McDonald has his peg down. His partner's standard swinging gate. Now they'll go to a standard formation, breaking out and balancing on either side of the football. The holder is Bob. His spot's down, and McDonald is money. And Lewisville all of a sudden scoring defensively. And the Fighting Farmers open up a lead at 2:58 of a first quarter of Lewisville 10 and Hebron nothing on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores. 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting. It's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Well, Brad, then we talked about how important it would be to Hebron for the Hawks to get off to a good start. Not so much. Down 10-0. 2:58 remains in our first quarter here at Max Goldsmith. Trent, tell us about that scoring play.
Well, the the Hebron Hawks actually had a nice drive roll and gained 27 yards, but the fumble by Trey Pugh, recovered by Cortez Thomas at the Hebron 43, returned it for the touchdown. The extra point by McDonald, 10-0. Lewisville Farmers over the Hebron Hawks, 2:58 left in the first quarter.
Well, and here's what's got to be a sore right instep of Matt McDonald. He'll kick it off for a 3rd time. Big kick on a line. Garbett from the 3. Angelo veering left across 1 hash, across 2. Cuts inside a man at the 20 on his feet, a flag down. And this will come back as Angelo Garbett is on his way to the 30, to the 20, and to the 10, to the 5. It will not stand, as I think Hebron's guilty of a block in the back. The celebration will be short-lived for the Hawks as they look upfield and see the marker.
Well, Brad, on the extra point, Jarrett Lee busted up the middle and got tackled, and you don't get that call. But a play that's maybe 20 yards away from the football. The official, sheepishly, the flag comes out, but it was a block in the back. Had nothing to do with the play, by bit. It's going to come back. The flag's all the way back at the 18-yard line. Look at the look on Angelo Garbett.
Just kind of hanging his head and heading to the boundary. What a beautiful return.
Who can blame him?
By Angelo Garbett. And not his first run for points that has been called back here in the first half of the 2014 season.
Yeah.
So you got to reload and go to work. Take the 6 points off of the board, and Hebron will be in some territory trouble after they mark this thing off from near the 20 and inside the 10 and down to the 9-yard line. One more time, referee Rick Ford delights his home crowd below us by the signal block in the back on the return. Hebron, first down Hawks from the Hebron 9-yard line.
Tough break for the Hawks.
Well, you got to bounce back. You're down 10-0. You're on the road. You got to make a little hay here. As you mentioned, they had some mojo working offensively last possession. Pugh right back into the game. Pugh a carry. Pugh wide left. Pugh to the 15. Pugh out to the 20, and he'll gain 13 to the 22-yard line. Hebron's starting to flex their muscles in the neutral zone.
Hey, little Colton Chapin out there. We talked about this a couple times this year. How he gets in the way. Not that time. He threw the body that time. That's a nice run for Trey after the fumble the last time he touched the football. First down, Hebron.
We don't mention Chris Brayman as often as we should. Hebron's blocking fullback, and he's a big piece of this stuff running on the ground. Again, it's Pugh, and off first down carry. Left side, Josh Lund, the tackle, but not before Trey Pugh steps for 5 out to the Hawk 27-yard line.
Had the glasses on the center who's in there for the injured Brian Drew and Jonathan Wang that time. Jonathan getting him some. Nice block on the nose guard, and they went out and got him a linebacker as well. Good job.
Dawson and Reggie Evans in the backfield. There's a toss. That's Dawson out of the running back position, dancing, and slow playing it, and then finding an alley and sticking a nose between a couple of would-be tacklers near the 30 and driving through the space before he's tripped up by Josh Lunn and George Haskins at the 35. Good enough for another Hawk first down.
Most of the time you see Christian take it outside. That time decides to cut it inside and makes a couple guys miss afterwards. Nice run. Hebron on the mark, a little bit of momentum again.
Dawson stays into the game at running back. He'll take a little toss. He'll carry. Look out. Ooh. Can't break that last tackle in the secondary. Josh Lunn ties the socks of Christian Dawson together, saving a touchdown in the process and pulling Dawson down after the run of 10 yards to his 45.
If Christian Dawson is able to break that line of scrimmage, partner, no one's going to catch him. He's a vapor trail.
He'll stay in the ball game, and I like him in the ball game at tailback. They'll go to him one more time. He's hit solidly at the line of scrimmage. That's a big blow and a flush blow delivered by Haskins, George Haskins, the most visible of the Farmer defenders.
And your safety's up on the line of scrimmage, Kenny Phillips that time, and he's also in, Brad. When your safety's up that close, again, it's an indication that they're paying no attention to what Hebron may go through the air. 10 of them within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage right now.
Double tied in, running play. Garbett, right guard, tripped up very early, and a gain of only 2 for Angelo. And on that stop for the Farmers is DJ Jackson now getting a little playtime at a linebacking position. And Hebron confronted with that 3rd down and 7. The Hawks employing a double tight end most of the time. Joe Martin along with Nathan Grant on either side of the offensive tackles. Chapin in at quarterback. The Riddle 3rd down 7 from the Hebron 48-yard line.
Laycock never started.
Toss, Garbett, left side. Can't get by one guy, and the second guy comes to help out, and they'll weigh him down. 3-yard gain to the 49, maybe the 48 in Farmer territory. It'll be 4th down and a long 3 for Hebron, and I would anticipate as we come to a conclusion of a first quarter that Hebron will consider going for it. We take a break here. Max Goldsmith Stadium through 1 quarter. Lewisville 10 and Hebron nothing.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huffines Dodge Dart. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Ram Podcast, or only $279 a month on new Huff Heinz Ram Crew Cabs at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
On middle school band night at Max Goldsmith Stadium, we roll the fresh 12 on the board. That's a second quarter, 12 minutes. Hebron comes out to play in this second frame. We'll be moving from south to north, the breeze at the backside. And Pete confronted with 4th down and 3.5.
Well, they're going to
go.
The
Farmer 48.
And it appears Hebron's offense is on the field. Victor Miller's checked in at either a tight end or a fullback. I see him out there. Nope, now they're going to punt the football.
Yeah, I see Gerard out there. Jake Gennard, rather.
Well,
at least he's going to line up in punt formation. The up back is the quarterback, I believe, Colton Chapin, should there be some shenanigans. Line of scrimmage in Lewisville territory at the 48. Gennard will take the snap. Jake going to unload it. That's high in the air. An end-over-end kick will not be returned. A Hebron bounce from the 32 and inside the 20 and tumbling inside the 15 and rolls to exhaustion at the 12-yard line. Very nicely done by Hebron punter Jake Gennard, who wears a 3-7 tonight on the black jersey. Victor Miller and some of his friends down there on the punt cover team just watched that one finally run out of energy after 40 yards.
Only the second Lewisville possession, Brad. They lead 10-0, 11:45. We made in our second quarter. See what adjustments the Hawk defense make here defensively.
Well, let's see what this fresh jersey is here at this left defensive end for Hebron. That's Gerald Mapunga digging in now, spelling the injured David Brazel, left defensive end. Here's Villarreal, empty backfield, and he'll throw it, and he'll complete it at the 20, and carrying out to the 25-yard line is Cameron Creel. Takes a corner, Jelani Heath to close and make the tackle, but not before the gain of 16 yards to the 28.
Just that quick out pattern and more after the throw by the receiver that time. Heath came up and wasn't able to bring him down immediately, and a nice little gain for another first down. And boy, Lewisville having their way offensively here early in this football game.
Jason Lynch working alongside of Caleb Sauer at safety. Here's Villarreal. First down earned at the 28. Quick pass, bubble screen, far side in space. A tackler is made as Jordan Johnson brings down, I believe that is Trinity Benson. No, in fact, that's Creel one more time on the catch. Cameron Creel. Second consecutive reception.
That's a good job by Johnson closing, but it doesn't happen without Colton Chapman hanging up the blocker and not letting him get out to make a block. And short gain that time. It's a good job by Colton. You get a little pass rush on this young quarterback, so you make him move his feet.
Adrian Villarreal will empty out the backfield. 2x2 receivers. It's second down and 6. Villarreal tries to keep it. A design quarterback draw, and he'll spin through would-be tackles across his 35, close to a first down, but stopped short by a yard by Clay Holford at the 37-yard line. From there, 3rd down 1 for the Farmers.
Nice job by Villarreal making Holford miss. Clay can't use his other arm. He can only use one arm. He tried to reach with the right arm, and Villarreal avoided him, and then Clay was strong enough to reach back and grab him with the other and pull him down. 3rd down.
Need a yard. The running back is Carl McGee. Going to throw for it in the near side. The catch is made, and a carry for a first down, not much more. That's a big blow by Jordan Johnson on the receiver right there, Cameron Creel. And Gerald Mapunga, also a piece of the tackle. Yeah, Gerald's the little brother of Stansley Mapunga.
Member of the Atlanta Falcons these days.
Yeah, 2009 Hebron Hawk graduate and a terrific Hawk defensive end for a couple of years.
Not to mention a TCU Horned Frog with a Rose Bowl ring.
Was he ever. But here's Gerald, his first playtime of the year, I believe. Digging in at left defensive end, wearing a 3-6 on the black jersey. First down earned at the Farmer 40-yard line. Adrian Villarreal, rarity under center. I formation behind him, toss sweep. McGee left side, not much doing right there.
Cooper
is cut down by Cooper, as you mentioned. Jamison, the senior, 5'11", 190. He himself credited with 12 tackles last week. 8 of those solos in the triple overtime loss to Marcus.
Well, Brad, it's next guy up for Hebron. They're just the walk-in wounded, so to speak, tonight. And you got kiddos out there playing that haven't played that much. You mentioned Mapunga. Jason Lynch also out there at an outside linebacker. Haven't seen Jason very much as well. And you just got to find some bodies out there that can help. And they're doing a good job bending, not breaking thus far.
Hebron corners Jelani Heath along with Colton Chapin. And here's Villarreal, straight drop. Swinging underneath on an attempted little screen. And it's bobbled incomplete by the intended receiver, the slot receiver on this side right here. And big pressure by Harris and Lee along with Mapunga on Villarreal.
Yeah, well, the offensive line let him go through. They were trying to set up a screen pass, and the pass was low, so it wouldn't have gone for anything. That ball's up in the air. That's a big play for Lewisville because the outside wide receivers were way downfield, and there was nobody in the middle of the field for Hebron.
And it couldn't be brought in. I believe it was Isaac McDonald out of a slot that was the intended receiver.
Huge third down.
3rd and 7. Need to see midfield as they will scrimmage from the 43. Going to call a timeout, or the Fighting Farmers, and think about it. And we'll step out with them. 8 minutes, 30 seconds until halftime. We continue from Max Goldsmith Stadium at Lewisville 10, Hebron nothing.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Peter, the Farmers will call a timeout, and I promise you, offensive coordinator Jarrell Brixey had a big part of the equation, and what they're going to come up with, they're facing 3rd down and 7, the Farmers from their 43.
Trent Lynch had a great point, Brad, when we went to break. Hebron, again, communication errors in that defensive secondary. Weren't lined out, got a break when Lewisville called timeout.
Well, Adrian Villarreal will break the huddle, line up in a shotgun. 2 receivers either side. He'll drop the throw, the shovel pass inside to McGee. 1 flag down, 2 flag down, and Carl McGee is down for no gain on the play at the 47-yard line. Clay Holford is featured on the stop as nobody bought that little shovel pass, as they call it. I think Lee Grosscup brought that into vogue. Holding against Lewisville. Declined by Hebron. And the Farmers, confronted with 4th and 7, will punt it into the wind, and we'll see the all-everything kicker, punter, place kicker, kickoff guy, Matt McDonald does it all, wears a 1 on the gray jersey. Derek Mueller peels off as a single Hebron safety to return.
Brad, when we get after the punt, we'll go through the scoreboard, 6A scoreboard, have some early scores for you.
There's some pressure, and there's McDonald's kick, and that's a high floater, and Derek Mueller will make a fair catch cleanly above his 20 at the Hawk 22-yard line. And while Hebron's offensive 11 gallops on, what's going on in 6A?
Well, early first quarter score, Flower Mound over Plano 7-0. McKinney Boyd, Plano West leads that one 14-7. And Flower Mound and Marcus playing over at Marcus, they're tied at 7 in the second quarter. Back to you.
Thank you, Peter. And back to this Hebron offense, who has been shut out thus far this evening. Hebron gains possession, trailing 10-0, 8:05 until halftime. The black-clad Hawks working from their 22.
Again, 10 in the box.
Boy, there's no question right there. Here's Garbett, right tackle, for 3, for 5, maybe 6. Out to his 28-yard line. Garbett tackled by Lunn, Rimp behind the right side of that offensive line. Farley and Hayden Seeley guard and tackle respectively. And Hebron continue to employ Joe Martin at a tight end. Nathan Grant at a tight end.
The good news is there's so many that close to the line of scrimmage. If he can make one or two guys miss, he's gone. Again, now almost all 11 are.
Richard Dodd working the series, the sophomore at quarterback.
I don't believe I've ever seen that.
Yeah,
maybe in Pee Wee football.
They are close. They are within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Here's a little toss outside this way. And Angelo Garbutt with a head down, drives for a first down, needed 4, got half dozen. And Cody Kearns and Nick Patton, inside-outside linebacker, on the high-low stop of Mr. Kearns, or rather Mr. Garbutt.
That's all Angelo Garbutt, because there wasn't nothing there, buddy. And he turned that corner, made 2 or 3 guys miss, and cut it up field for another Hebron first down. Hebron doing a good job.
Fresh jersey spelling Brayman at fullback now. It's Josh Ragsdale. And he had a good block in front of Angelo the last carry. Here's Dodd. Counterplay. Angelo rolled up got to the line of scrimmage, saw some enemy jersey coming his way, tried to put on the brakes, and Josh Lunn just followed him down and rolled him down. No gain on the play.
There's just too many guys up there to block, and Lunn is the one that's unaccounted for and steps up and makes a good tackle.
Here's Ragsdale to the boundary and replaced by the speed of Christian Dawson. Also checking in offensively for Hebron. And don't see Jordan Johnson play a lot of offense, but here he's going to be stationed wide to the left side. And Dodd going to work out of a pistol set. Garbutt behind him. Play action. Dodd dancing. Dodd sacked. Richard Dodd goes down in a heap and in a hurry. Back at the 28-yard line, that's big Kobe Neal. Junior defensive end. Nobody blocks Neal, and he's in the hip pocket of Richard Dodd and throws him down back at the 28. Third down, 16 Hebron.
Part of the problem with not being able to throw the football this year is that they haven't had time to, and there's a new right tackle out there for Hebron in Freddie Danches, and the pressure came from Freddie's side of the field.
Here's Dodd working out of a shotgun. Somebody wiggling up the line of scrimmage. Have a feeling 3rd and 16 after the false start on Hebron will become 3rd down and 21. Yeah, they'll carry the 5-yard penalty back to the 23-yard line. Boy, not many highlights here in the first half for the Hawks.
And the one that was called back.
It sure enough was. A 97-yard kickoff return from Angelo Garbutt erased by the special teams blocking the back. Lewisville scoring on a 32-yard field goal and a 43-yard fumble return. Here's Dodd over the middle, man. Can't make the catches. Derek Mueller on a deep post in front of Corey Williams, the corner on the cover. Not a bad pass, squeezed off the right arm of sophomore Richard Dodd.
I'm sorry I got excited, but that had a chance. And Mueller settles out and dives and gets one hand on it. But you give the young man a chance to set his feet and throw the football. You saw something there. Hebron's got to punt again.
Turley to kick it off, kick it away to Trinity Benson, along with Corey Williams. It's Benson on the near side.
Needs something good to happen here if you're a Hebron Hawk.
Jake Gennard going to take a Stanton Turley deep snap near his 10-yard line. Now Hebron will call a timeout. We step away with them at 5:16 until halftime. Our count continues. The Farmers 10, the Hawks nothing on Champion Sports Radio.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Hebron to punt. Gennard fields a short hop snap, no pressure. The kick off the side of the foot will touch down on Hebron's side of midfield and then take a very friendly hawk tumble into Farmer territory. Now inside the Lewisville 40 and dies at the 36-yard line. So Hebron living right on the punt. The wind at the backside there of the Hawk punter in Jake Gennard, and then he got a very friendly hop down the field of some 20 yards. All in all, 41 yards.
Jake Gennard, maybe the best offensive player that Hebron's got so far. 3 punts, 41, 40, and the last one of 41. So that's an easy average to figure out, huh?
Caleb Sauter is safety. Jordan Johnson is safety. On the corners, Colton Chapin right side. Jelani Heath left side. Farmers leading 10-0 from their 36. Quick pass this way. Creel makes the grab, splits a would-be tackler or two, and then coming up is Jordan to make the dive and the stab tackle, but not before the gain of 10 to the Farmer 46.
Well, they're going to run that play until Hebron finds a way to slow it down.
And they haven't been close yet.
No. And you're just so limited. It's just got to figure out a way to stop it. You can try to jump it, but if you try to jump it and miss it, it's a touchdown the other way. So it's got to, clearly they're playing back.
Holford and Cooper, along with Eberhardt and Garbett, the linebacking core. Villarreal play fake. Pressure hit. Eberhardt bangs him down from the backside, and Adrian Villarreal never did see the black-shirted blur on the far side coming from his blind side in Eberhardt, and Corey really laid the wood to him. And the loss back to the 42-yard line.
4th sack of the season for Corey Eberhardt, Brady. And that's a coverage sack because they tried to do the pump and go that time, and the Hebron secondary did a really, really nice job of not falling for the pump. And by the time he took the ball down, Eberhardt was there. Nice job, Hebron, defensively that time.
Well, kind of a big play. 2nd down, 14. Farmers from the 42, they're into the field. Taylor in the backfield at an eye set. There's a handoff to Taylor, and Robert Taylor inside between the tackles runs into the wrap of linebacker Clay Holford. And a very negligible gain, maybe 3.5, give him 4. Back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd down 10 from the 46.
I think Lewisville is the direct opposite of Hebron offensively. I think they run the ball to keep Hebron off balance a little bit, and then they're throwing the ball so successfully. Hebron's the other way. They're running the ball pretty well and unable to throw the football. So here's 3rd and 10. Big play.
Here's Jarrett Lee at nose guard, Nathan Grant and Julian Harris, the defensive ends. See if they can get some pressure on Villarreal, who drops into the pocket, who will step and drive a pass that's incomplete behind the intended receiver in Hebron territory. It was Lee who had some pressure. Sauter on the cover. The intended receiver was Trinity Benson. It goes for naught. 4th down, same 10 needed. The Farmers from the Lewisville 46-yard line.
Yeah, you get Villarreal to move his feet a little bit. He's not nearly as accurate, and that time they did. And the ball behind the open receiver that time, Hebron gets off the field.
So McDonald is tasked to punt it into the wind to Derek Mueller. The deep snapper is Johan Ramirez. That's a high floating snap. There's pressure. No contact. Kick is away. Mueller a fair catch, and in a crowd,
boy,
he will execute.
That's going to be a penalty.
There's that halo penalty because he was really being breathed down. Jarrett Lee had big pressure on the punter. McDonald was able to get it away. Mueller called for the fair catch, but he was just surrounded, and I mean really close. The Louisville defenders, Xavier Franklin, I think the closest of the Farmer defenders, and there's something we haven't seen as much as we did maybe half dozen years ago, that halo call.
I recall one that wasn't called about 6 or 7 years ago that had us jumping out of the booth at Texas Stadium in a very big playoff game against a young man by the name of Blake then.
Yeah, that was the opening kickoff, and then that stinking loss to Wiley.
Sorry.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
2nd round.
Hey, good field position for the Hawks. 2:51 remain here in our first half. They trail 10-0, but great starting field position.
A lot of people remember that, Peter.
Sorry.
And I do, too. Yeah. Kid called for the fair catch. Everybody saw his hand up. He caught it and rolled up like a window shade. No foul.
Apparently, all the whining that I'm going to do about trying to throw it on first down, no one's going to listen.
Chapin to work the series at quarterback. The tailback is Angelo Garbett. 2:51 until halftime.
Oh.
Play action.
Got him.
Over the middle for Mueller, and in front of Mueller, incomplete. The guy on the cover for Louisville was Cortez Thomas, and we both thought he may have had a little bit of jersey, but no call.
Hey, I don't care.
Yep.
Play
like
action.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. Do it again.
Mueller, the favorite receiver for Hebron quarterbacks. Derek with 7 catches through 4 ball games.
Already you can see the secondary backing off the ball a little bit.
It's 2nd down and 10. Clock will unravel from the 2-minute 45-second mark, second quarter. Hebron trailing 10-0.
What now? I think
now
we have
timeout defensively, and our producer, Mr. Weston Lynch, says we got to take it with them, and I'm going to say, no, let's stay right here. Let Peter and I decipher this thing. Pete?
We'd like to thank Randy Rogers and the team over at Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano for being such strong supporters of Hebron Hawk football. Are you searching for a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram? At Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge, we provide everything automotive and superb customer service. With Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge, you'll get a new, reliable, and stylish car at the price that doesn't break the bank. A big thanks to our friend Randy Rogers and the folks over at Huff Hines.
Peter, one of the things you love about coming over here to Goldsmith Stadium and through the decades, and certainly for decades and decades before either you or I showed up, this Lewisville High School mascot, Farmer John himself, with the overalls and the straw hat. You'll find him just beyond the baseline of that south end zone, near corner.
Touchdown. Oh, yeah, I see the old farmer over there. Does he?
That is Farmer John,
Hello,
my friend.
Farmer. Brad, only you would know that. But that's a great thing. Hey, he's mixed in. Old Farmer John is old and you know, old school as he's surrounded by kids in day-glow pink T-shirts. So what does that tell you?
He has not outlived his time. Pugh into the ball game at running back. Trey Pugh finds an alley, puts a head down, and spills it ahead for 8 yards to midfield.
Well, just that, the thought of passing the ball gets the safeties back off the line of scrimmage, and they found a hole. Nice hard run that time by Trey. 3rd and short for Hebron.
Trey working behind the block of fullback Josh Ragsdale. Tackled by a safety in Josh Lund. Running play. Trey Pugh tries to ricochet wide left, and the defense is there, builds the fence and knocks him down. No gain on the play. 2nd down now, 3rd down now, 4th down. And that same yard, perhaps less than a yard for Hebron, working from the former 49.
Well, both Trent and I are yelling, Trey, you got to cut it up. And the head coach of the Hebron Hawks met Trey Pugh over there to remind him it was 3rd down. You need to go forward.
Yeah, let's
sideways.
get the thing square.
Hebron's going to go for it. Who can blame him?
Do some railroading. 4th and 1. Handoff, Garbett gets the one, not a lot more. Across the 47, reaches and strains to the former 46-yard line. This at the minute 42nd mark.
Hebron with the one. I'm sorry. Check that, Brett.
They have 2 timeouts left, and boy, they'd love to make some hay here late second quarter.
Got to find a way to get something positive.
Still a bagel on the board for the Hawks, trailing 10-0.
Defense has only given up the 3 points. The other points came on the offensive turnover. Clock running.
Here's play action fake. Colton Chapin rolls to the right, throws on the run, busted up on the far sideline. And very nicely, it'll go incomplete, and that is a very nice coverage and breakup by Cortez Thomas. The intended receiver was Derek Mueller. Thomas, of course, the former defender who picked up the Trey Pugh first quarter fumble and rambled in from 43 yards away.
I liked how Chapin was able to keep the play alive with the rollout, though. A good throw, just good coverage that time. 2nd down, clock stop, not the end of the world.
All 10 of the former points. Here's a little razzle-dazzle. A handoff. Chapin ends up with it, gets a block, throws it down the field. On the sideline, incompleted forward pass. Joe Martin came down with it, but a step out of bounds.
And they went play action that time, and they were trying to get it to Mueller over the middle, but a nice job by the safety, Kenny Phillips, not to bite on the fake, and that'll bring up 3rd down. The steak sounds good, though. Here's 3rd down. Clock stopped again, though. Hebron trying to throw the football, and this is obviously where they struggled all year.
Pete, you see that fresh jersey out there for the Hawks wearing a 4-8 on it. That's a junior called up from the tight end in Cameron Isom, who has gotten considerable play time this series. Right now, I think he's headed to the sideline, as Hebron will do without 2 tight ends. A timeout called at 1:08 remaining. That's a timeout burned by Hebron. We'll keep it right here during the stoppage in play with the Farmers leading the Hawks by a count of 10-0.
Also want to thank our friend Steve Swanson over at Whirlyball for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around on a Whirlybug. They also have the most affordable laser tag in town. 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hearst. Leagues are starting up now, so visit them online at whirlyball.info for more information. Big play.
You know what's interesting, guys, is when you take a look at when Hebron
Attaboy,
does pass
Trent.
the ball.
Jump in the middle of this thing.
When the Hawks pass the ball, there's one receiver going down the middle of the field where historically you'd see 3, maybe 4. Hebron now with 1 receiver, and if he's covered, there's really nowhere to go.
Yeah, and he had the tight end late, but he was running for his life. But good job by Chapin again, keeping the play alive. And you got 2 receivers out there this time. Let's see what you got.
Dawson to the left, Mueller to the right side.
And we're going to hand it to Antoine.
Now we're going to keep it after faking to Antoine, and Colton Chapin tries to throw a little surprise party on a quarterback draw, and Farmers by none of it on 3rd down and 10. And in fact, it's Lewisville at the 1-minute mark who calls the timeout as they want to field the Hebron punt. 1 minute remaining. First half, all Farmers, 10-0.
In Command Broadcasting is a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company providing a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services, including filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. Call 972-851-7888. That's 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event with In Command Broadcasting.
Peter just having some fun looking at the old Lewisville High School football notes. And how about these guys from 1978 when Neil Wilson took over until Ronnie Gage retired from Lewisville 10 years ago. Neil Wilson, 8 years, 68 wins, 18 losses, 5 ties. Chuck Mills took over in 5 years. Coach Mills, 36, 16, and 1. And how about the 14-year run, Ronnie Gage, 1991 through 04, 117 wins, 46 losses, 3 ties, 2 state championships.
Neil Wilson so good they built a stadium and put his name on it.
That's a high kick by Jake Gennard. And it will not be returned, and take a Hebron hop and inside the 10, inside the 5, and down to the 1-yard line with 45 seconds remaining and a 10-0 lead. Here come the Farmers, a long way from the pay station.
Boy, get Jake Gennard a star. What a nice job. Another 41-yard punt. And I don't think any of his punts have been returned tonight. That is a great job by Jake Gennard. Only 10-0. Let's not hang our heads if you're a Hebron Hawk fan.
Absolutely not. Keep chipping away, keep battling. That'll be the plea as we head to the locker rooms here, 44 seconds away.
And up here.
Between the halves, that's also the plea up here. Heck, let's get a safety if nothing else here.
Got the 1 timeout left.
Villarreal under center from the 1. They'll go quarterback sneak and maybe get half yard, not much more. Just watching those final seconds slip away. Even unable to make any penetration to think about the safety and the carry of the quarterback out to the 2-yard line. Trent Lynch working numbers as always.
Hello.
Peter Nielsen, my broadcast partner. Pete, I sure am glad I invited you to all the fun back when you said yes in 1999. You qualify now as a veteran, you know.
We've had a lot of fun over the years, my friend. That's for darn sure. Hebron not going to use that last time out. They're going to let this clock run out.
And run out it does, and we have arrived at halftime Max Goldsmith Stadium on this middle school band night. And through a couple of quarters, the healthy crowd below us supporting the Farmers on their feet as Lewisville heads to the halftime locker room, very proud of that 10-0 lead, all gained on the 10 first quarter points. Hebron has come up empty offensively. They head to the locker room. A good first half effort for the Hawks, but nevertheless on the short end of the 10-0 halftime scoreboard from Max Goldsmith Stadium. Mr. Pete Nielsen, myself, Mr. Trent Lynch, we all invite you to stay tuned. Our halftime programming on Champion Sports Radio is up next. Couple of quarters behind us, the Farmers over the Hawks, 10-0.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Do you need a boost in exposure? Want to reach local, community-minded folks with information about your business? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games for more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. It's also a way for your business to give back to the community by helping all these well-deserving student-athletes get some recognition for their accomplishments. The cost simply can't be beat for the effect it will have. You get a lot of bang for your buck, and best of all, it provides an opportunity for the best advertisement of all, word of mouth. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ChampionSportsRadio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and Facebook.com/ChampionSportsRadio, your home for championship social media.
Very healthy applause provided by the home folks here as they have just watched the Silver Wings precision drill unit out of Hebron High School, supported by the sounds of the Hebron High School marching band, but a very nice performance by the Silver Wings here in week number 5 at halftime as Hebron trailing Lewisville by a count of 10-0. The Farmers looking for a second win in this, their 4th ball game. Hebron looking for the win column for a first time in 2014 in this game number 5 for the Hebron Hawks. All of the scoring took place in the first quarter of play. Very quickly, Peter, how we got there? Well, Hebron took the opening kickoff, and the Farmers dug in and played some early defense. In fact, forced a 3-and-out. Jake Gennard of Hebron, the first of a busy first half punting the football, and his punt was set up a pretty good field position for Lewisville for their opening drive. And in fact, the Farmers go to work from their 30-yard line, and over 11 plays, most of those very quick dot-to-dot passes. They march 55 yards, eat up 5.5 minutes of the first quarter clock, and the drive finally stalls, and they bring in Matt McDonald. He's looking for a 5th field goal of the year, and he finds it from 32 yards away at the 5-minute, 1-second mark. 5:01 remaining in the first quarter, and Lewisville out to the 3-0 lead. Subsequent kickoff, Hebron puts together a couple of first downs, and then they hand it to Trey Pugh, and Trey Pugh stood up at the line of scrimmage, maybe gaining a yard and putting up an argument there, and he was stood up and he was stripped of the football. Trey Pugh fumbled the football, and it was on the ground and picked up by Cortez Thomas at Hebron's 43-yard line and going the other way, and Cortez in a hurry, unlock the door because Cortez is on his way to the house, and to the house he does. 43 steps on the fumble return. Cortez Thomas at 2 minutes 58 seconds of that first quarter. And on came McDonald, and he booted through the point after touchdown, and that gave the Farmers the 10-0 lead. Again, just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half when the lead was gained, and the lead was retained through the balance of that first half of play. Nobody really threatening through the last quarter plus those last 3 minutes of the first quarter. Hebron does have the ensuing kickoff after the defensive touchdown for Lewisville. The ensuing kickoff from McDonald was gathered in at the 3-yard line by Hebron's Angelo Garbett, and boy, did he put on a show and kick in the Jets and leave a vapor trail of some 97 yards for what appeared to be a Hebron special teams answer for a touchdown, but upfield the flag had been thrown very early in the sequence, and Hebron was cited for the block in the back, and instead of the 6 points and the 97-yard kickoff return, Hebron was forced to initiate the drive from inside their 10-yard line, and they couldn't make a lot of hay. Peter?
And the real sad part about that penalty, Brad, it was 10, 15 yards away from the play. Had no bearing on the play at all. It was a play that was made behind the play, and official chose to throw the flag anyway, and it's kind of how the Hebron season's gone all year.
And maybe more importantly, the Hebron kiddo decided he needed to throw that block for unknown reasons.
Agreed. And Brad, while we have a minute before we go to our first break here, got some scores around the district, and one's going to make you go, Plano 28, Flower Mound 7. It's not that one.
Nope.
Plano West 35, McKinney Boyd 14. It's not that one.
Not so much.
Allen and Marcus are tied at 14. Marcus has run for over 200 yards in the first half already. 14-14 over at the new stadium on the campus of Marcus.
Don't you know that place is alive tonight? And Marcus and they are a pretty good football team, very physical football team, and good size kiddos. And as we saw last week, they have some appreciable depth on that Marcus ball club. And who knows what may happen? Don't know if it's a full moon tonight, but the Marauders do have them where they want them at Marauder Stadium.
Brad, you asked me to keep my eye on 2 scores around the Metroplex as well, and 2 big games in Abilene and South Lake Carroll, a non-district affair going on over at Dragon Stadium. It's all South Lake, 35-21 over an Abilene team that came in at 4-0. And the other one that has my attention, because as you know, we carry Trinity Trojan football here on Champion Sports Radio. Them and Colleyville Heritage and Euless Trinity, they're having an old-fashioned knock-them-down, punch-me-in-the-face kind of football game. It's 6-0.
I like
Trinity.
that.
That's the kind of football I like, too. I like when you smack people in the mouth and don't throw it all over the yard. But this one here, we're at halftime. Hebron trails the Farmers 10-0.
Peter, you should have joined me back in the first game I ever worked here at this stadium. It wasn't even called Max Goldsmith Stadium at the time, but
What year was that?
Date stamp in 1982. Big district ball game. Plano Wildcats, Lewisville Farmers. Tommy Kimbrough locking it up with Neil Wilson. Ended up being that slugfest you talk about. Just draw a line in the sand and throw haymakers at 1-0. A scoreless tie.
Two things. 1982. Is that what you 88?
Oh, it was 82.
82. I still had hair. And number two, I wasn't a Texan yet. So I would have loved to join you, but I'm sure it was a great football. Did they have lights yet
You
here?
just didn't know what you were missing
Did
yet.
they have lights yet? The scoreboard?
Burning brightly, the Friday night lights.
No elevator.
No elevator.
I didn't want to be
Didn't
here.
need an elevator.
Let's go to
then.
break.
We do go to break at the Ceasefire, Max Goldsmith Stadium, District 6A football. And at halftime, homestanding Lewisville 10, the visiting Hebron Hawks nothing.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines' model year-end sales event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huff Hines Dodge Dart. Only $269 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huff Hines has it.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number one cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org and let your heart be heard.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
We are at halftime, Max Goldsmith Stadium, the site of this one, out of District 6A, and Lewisville leading Hebron 10-0. And folks just joining us, that may be a shocker. We mentioned in the pregame, Peter, that this would be chapter number 9. These teams have met over the previous 8 years in succession, and Hebron has won all of them, and a lot of them rather healthy in the differential. 21-0, 28-7. There's that 10-3 close one back in 2008. And since, Hebron 52-7 in 09, 49-7 2010. The Hawks blanked Lewisville 3 years ago. The 2011 final, Hebron 36-0. Hawks by 13 2 years ago at 25-12, and a year ago win by 13, 37 and 24. So only one out of the 8 had Lewisville within double digits, the 10-3 win in 2008. Other than that, Hebron wins most of them going away. Not so much tonight.
Well, when you want to talk about shockers, let's look around the district one more time. And there's a shocker going on right here down Main Street, just a little bit to the west, about 5-10 minutes.
I'm all ears. Marauder Stadium.
Halftime score. Marcus 17, Allen 14. We talked about in the open about the battle of the running backs out over at Ron Post Stadium tonight, and there's really not much of a battle. Soso Jamambo, Plano West, already up over 100 yards, 18 carries, 163 yards for Plano West. They leave over McKinney Boyd and Diedrich Skivens, who's only got 43 yards for Boyd. 35-14 Plano West. So that Plano West team, not a lot of people talking about them in the preseason, Bradley, but Mike Hughes has them going the right way.
Now, Plano West looking for 4 wins and as many starts, and they have outscored their opponents through the first 3 by 149 to a rather meager 63 given up in the 3 ball games, and that's good for Mike Hughes. He's been chipping away at that rock for a long time.
Well, before we go to our friend Trent Lynch, who we're glad is back, the younger version of the Lynch family caught up with Hebron head coach Brian Brazel, and let's hear how that went.
Coach, not the first half you were looking to start off with. Your defense is only giving up 3 points, but they have the fumble recovery for a touchdown. They're up 10-0. They're putting 10 guys in the box. What do you do to spread them out so that Angelo can get that running room?
Well, we've had a few breaks in there, and then we get a penalty here, a penalty there. We had the receivers open a couple of times, just coming off their fingertips. We just got to make plays. Right now, they're making the plays, we're not, and that's the difference right now. And defensively, we're doing a little bit better, but we just got to keep working to improve. That's all I can say right now.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck second half.
Thanks.
Well, Brad Denton.
My favorite journalist.
I just gave Weston Lynch the high five of all seasons up here. That's the question I've been asking all day, and I'm pretty sure our listeners are probably tired of me asking it. And I know Trent is. Trent's giving me the look 3 times tonight. And Brad, you just give me the palms up like you're not calling the plays, but it is what it is, and you got to figure out a way. And Coach Brazel's right. You got to figure out a way to get them out of that kind of coverage. And Trent, you come back tonight, and there's really not many numbers to talk about. Where the heck were you last week when I really needed you?
Well, I tell you, this is probably the lowest output of numbers for 2 teams in one half that I've seen in quite a while.
I don't think either one of them got into 3 digits, did they?
No, they did not. Lewisville got close, but Hebron had 7 first downs in the first half, 88 yards on 21 carries for just a little over a 4-yard per carry average. 0 for 5 throwing the ball, a total of 88 yards in the first half.
There you
go. The Hebron Hawks all on the ground.
And Hebron, a ball club on the average, 307 total yards per ball game, and of that, 278 on the ground.
Hebron did have the one fumble that you talked about, Brad. Big fumble that led to the touchdown for the Lewisville Fighting Farmers. 3 penalties for 30 yards, a big one on the touchdown return by Angelo Garbett, and had the ball for 11 minutes, 56 seconds. As you said earlier, Petey, the highlight of the first half for the Hawks, 4 punts and a 42-yard average on those punts.
And the Angelo Garbett kickoff return that was called back was a half a highlight.
It was
a great call by Brad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, penalty flag called that one back. So
the Farmers also had 7 first downs in the first half, 27 rushing yards on 9 carries, so right about their average of 3 yards per carry coming into this ball game. But I tell you what, so far Adrian Villarreal's done a pretty nice job. Quarterback, 10 for 13, 70 yards. Lewisville with 97 total yards in the first half. Error-free, Only one penalty for 15 yards. And, possession was just about the same for both ball clubs. But nobody really dominated. All the points in the first quarter, the only offensive points being a field goal on the Fighting Farmers' first drive.
32-yarder by Matt McDonald. And then later in that first frame, you mentioned the fumble and the return. It was picked up by Cortez Thomas at the Hebron 43-yard line, and he was able to just scamper in and look back over his shoulder. Nobody even giving chase, and he was able to get to the end zone. We looked for a flag, listened for a whistle. Neither of
I was
above.
begging to say he was down.
And then the official rolled the old arm skyward, and I knew, that's 6 on the board defensively for the Farmers. But you shake that thing down, and Trent, it sticks with me. Lewisville 97, Hebron 88. The Farmers 9 more yards than the Hawks, 10 more points.
9 more yards, 10 more points, and the all-important 10-0 lead on the scoreboard at halftime. Just one thing to note, gentlemen, Angelo Garbett, 39 yards in the first half. He now has eclipsed the 700-yard mark.
Special. So
far for the season, now in his 5th game this season.
Even more special when there's 9 or 10 or sometimes even 11 in the box defensively. I'm sorry.
Now, Peter, at the top of the broadcast, you did. If I remember correctly, I did pronounce it to be middle school band night, and there they are out in front of us, and I'm not going to call it chaos, but I might call it organized chaos.
I'm going to say that's not a bunch. That's a gaggle. You got Farber John over here in the end zone. Well, that would have to be a gaggle. That's a lot of folks out there trying to scurry to get in their positions, and let's just say, as Mickey Timms would say, a little bit of malfunction at the junction. But they're there. Let's do this. Let's go to break while they find their way to where they need to be. They're trying their best.
I'm going to have some music here by the Collected Ensemble.
Halftime programming will continue after these words. It's Farmers 10, Hawks nothing on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Hines Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Hines Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huff Hines has it.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Shell experts here to talk about the protective shield you see at Shell stations all over the country.
Featuring us.
It's there to remind you that no other gasoline protects your engine better than Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines. Mm-hmm. Now with 20% more cleaning agents than before.
Performance-robbing gunk doesn't stand a chance because your intake valves and fuel injectors are protected.
Actively shielded.
Hence the big protective shield here.
So try Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines today. No other gasoline protects your engine better.
For quality auto service and repair, see the folks at Flat Shell on Preston Road at I-635.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
All right. I wish you could have seen it. I hope you got a good listen to it. If you saw it, it would be a cavalcade of colors and nothing short of that on middle school band night. And that's likewise, Peter, maybe a cavalcade of tunes all at once right there, but a pretty nice job done by the collective effort, the Lewisville High School Band, being mentors to the youngsters in from the handful of middle schools that feed Lewisville High School. And there go the youngsters, and they will leave the varsity band on the field for one final number here at halftime Max Goldsmith Stadium, where Lewisville leads Hebron by a count of 10-0. And Peter, while I huffed and puffed and talked about Lewisville's successful football history, and they have had those periods of times where they passed my high school football test. And Trent, you know what that is? And see if you agree with me. You make it to a level where it's news if you lose.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Trinity's there, DeSoto's there, Allen certainly is there. South Lake Carroll also lives at that address at the moment. Cedar Hill lives at that address. Other than that, you can fill in any blanks that I've left out as far as North Central Texas is concerned. Certainly, Lewisville's Farmers have had extended periods of time where that has been the address of the Fighting Farmers and Farmer John. And hey, don't forget about Hebron's rich football tradition, albeit a bit shortened in this, the 15th year of varsity football. Who could forget that 5-year run, 2004 through 2008, when the Hawks stacked 5 consecutive district championships on top of one another, claimed that Division II Class 4A state title in 2005, running the table at 16-0, defeating Corpus Christi Cal Allen 28-0 in the final down there at Round Rock, or there at the Big House. The Palace on Palmer, if you will. That 5-year record for Hebron, by the way, 04 through 08. How about 55 wins in 65 football games, 55-10.
Some major talent on those teams as well, and Coach Brazel was able to assemble that talent and put it to good use, and that run has been very special for the Hebron Hawks, and that reputation, still kind of resides with Hebron and the program. But this has been a tough year so far for those same Hawks.
Peter, it's like he said last week, Coach Brazel's maybe quote of the year thus far, we can't go pick them off waivers.
When it's just, you look at the boards that we put together every week.
A lot of red X's.
You got an X on 75, you got an X on 57, you got an X on 1, you got an X on 17.
Turn it over. On 44.
Turn it over. You got an X on 44. You got an X on 47. We haven't talked about losing Jacob Timish back in week 1. And you got a guy, Clay Holford, out there playing with one arm. I mean, it should be a 3-0 football game. It's not. It's 10-0. And Hebron's going to have to play defense first. I talked about it in the open, and Trent and I agreed. Something positive has to happen for this Hawk football team. There's been all negatives. You need something positive to happen. You need something positive to happen early.
And it didn't happen early in the first half.
No.
Maybe it can happen early in the second half.
Go on side. Do something.
Well, Nick Horiotis of Hebron will kick it off. Horiotis has it pegged at the South 40 and will boot it with the wind at the backside. Second half about to unfold. Horiotis' approach and the kick, and this is deep, and this will be Trinity Benson from the 4-yard line. Big steps up to the 20, out to the 30. Big hit right there by Cooper, and Jamison Cooper will stop him in his tracks, and then there's a flag down right at the 25-yard line. Cooper on the tackle of the return man, Trinity Benson, in the vicinity of the 27.
Well, good news is that Josh Zeman's a football player. The bad news is he's out there playing without his helmet and making a tackle. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty on Hebron, I believe. Sorry.
And who was the kiddo?
Number 45, Josh Zeman.
There he is, and getting after it. Senior, fullback, put me in, coach.
Personal, man, you just can't do it. You got
to. From the 27, mark off 15, and the Farmers will, after all, get some pretty healthy field position. An offense that features Oscar Salinas at center. But Alex Atchison, a 3-year starter at right guard. Quinn Bauer, the left guard. The Left tackle, the biggest toad up there in the puddle, the junior 6'3", 275, Denzel Okafor. And at right tackle is Brandon Crockett.
The question should be asked is, though, how did Mr. Zeman's helmet come dislodged?
From the 42, first play from scrimmage, little bubble screen,
There
other
you
way.
go.
There's good defense right there by Colton Chapin. As soon as Trinity Benson caught the pass, that little right on the line of scrimmage bubble screen, there was Chapin fighting through a block and making a tackle and a loss of 1.
Good job that time of reacting by Colton, and didn't see that in the first quarter. Maybe the corners are going to, Eric Mock and his defensive staff decided to push the envelope a little bit and step up a little bit and put some pressure on Villarreal.
Villarreal, an empty backfield. Digging in at nose guard is Jarrett Lee. There's the snap, there's the throw to the post, and that's incomplete. A step behind the intended receiver, who was covered very well by Chapin. One more time as they come off the wall. That's Cameron Creel, who had 3 catches in the first half of play.
Brad, I know I say this a lot.
Go ahead.
This is a huge third down, and I'm going to go on a limb. This might be the hugest third down of the season for the Hebron Hawks.
I mentioned Lee at nose guard. Julian Harris and Nathan Grant, the Hawk defensive ends. Inside backers, Jamison Cooper, Clay Holford, and Angelo Garbutt and Corey Eberhardt are the outside backers. Here's Villarreal, third down, 11. Straight drop, scrambling, rolling out of the pocket, giving chase. Holford still on his feet. Villarreal, he will scramble for a first down, earned across midfield, a late flag out of the hip pocket of a referee. Villarreal goes down in the wrap of Jamison Cooper. Nice job of scrambling by Adrian Villarreal for what looked to be a 10-yard gain, maybe 11-yard gain for a first down run.
Well, maybe a break for the Hawks. Let's see.
Our referee, Rick Ford.
Boy, Rick doesn't do anything very quickly.
Says personal foul against Hebron and tack on 15. And that will take it from the 49 down to, the 34-yard line in the vicinity in Hebron territory. So all of a sudden, Peter, on one play, third down 11, the scramble for 11 and a first down, and tack on 15 and march the football down into the Hawks into the field at the 33-yard line.
Well, by the actions of the sideline, I believe it was our friend Julian Lewis that was the
or Julian Harris.
Julian Harris. Julian has been asked to go down the other end of the sideline by himself. So.
He's spelled by Gerald Mapung at that left end. Here's Villarreal. A look, a pump fake to the right, now a scramble. I don't know if that's ad-libbing. If it is, pretty good job by Adrian Villarreal. Garbutt on the tackle, Gerald Mapunga a help on the tackle. But the former quarterback rolls on the scramble left side for the gain of 7 to the Hebron 26.
Brad, we hadn't talked very much about this Lewisville offensive line. And
big people.
They're getting down the field. I just had the glasses on Denzel Okafor, and a nice block by Denzel down the field that time for the Farmers.
Denzel again 6'3" and 275. There's a counter play and a handoff to a fullback. That's a very rare carry for the fullback. Jarrett Lee rides him down, but not before the carry of close to 4 yards. And on that carry is Isaac McDonald. His first carry of the night, only a handful of carries for the fullback on the season. But good for a first down after the 7-yard scramble. Now the 4-yard run of McDonald. It's first down at Hebron's 22. Farmers looking to extend a 10-0 lead. Adrian Villarreal out of the shotgun. He'll go on a quarterback draw, dancing for 2 for 3 inside the 20 and down to the 19. The 3-yard gain stopped by Julian Harris, who has checked back in at defensive end.
BD, add Nathan Grant to the injured Hawk pile. He's over on the sideline holding a shoulder, and Julian Harris has checked in. His punishment was short-lived because Grant got hurt.
Yeah, now it's Mapunga along with Harris at defensive end. Second down and 7 from Hebron's 19. Hawks looking for a stop here off the opening kickoff of this second half. Villarreal fakes the running play, rolls left, squares, throws to the end zone, man open, and a touchdown of 19 yards. And coming away with the catch for the Farmers is Trinity Benson. And for Benson, a second touchdown reception of the year, and this one triggered by Villarreal on the run, rolling left for 19 yards.
He does a nice job of keeping his feet moving because Garbett came on the blitz. Brett swinging gate again. But the Garbett made him move his feet from the outside linebacker position, but a nice job. Got outside the pocket and found the receiver wide open in the end zone for the touchdown.
Brarian Bob to hold. Spot down from McDonald, and the Farmers will turn a 16 into a 17, and Lewisville threatening to run away and hide here. Still early, third quarter, 8:59 remaining in the frame, but a new count from Goldsmith Stadium. Lewisville 17, Hebron nothing on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Popeyes has it.
Lewisville takes the opening second half kickoff and marches down the field into the end zone for the first offensive touchdown of the day. Trent, tell us about the drive.
That was a 7-play, 58-yard drive, 3 minutes and 1 second off the clock. The 19-yard touchdown pass from Villarreal to Trinity Benson, the McDonald extra point. 17-0 Farmers.
Very high short kickoff taken by Derek Mueller at the 27. He'll take it to the right, now across the 30 on the right hash, turns it up across the 40, and then the end of the way is the 41-yard line for Derek Mueller. On the kickoff return, very short high kick from Matt McDonald, and Mueller tackled by Nick Patton at his 41-yard line. That, by the way, a fifth touchdown pass for Adrian Villarreal on the season.
Villarreal 12 for 16 for 88 yards.
Well, we asked for the junior quarterback to get some snaps. Look who's out there, my friend.
Well, it is, in fact, Richard Dodd. Where's the number 12 on the jersey? Out of a pistol set behind him is Angelo Garbett. Christian Dawson and Jordan Johnson are in the ballgame. At a wide receiver, a handoff, and there's Garbett bucking it at left guard, and the gain from the 41 of 4 to his 45-yard line.
And just by spreading the field, Brad, there's more running room for Garbett right there.
Kenny Phillips coming up to support free safety on the stop. Again, Hebron offensively, Jonathan Wang opens at center. Jarrett Farley and Devin Wright, the Hawk guards. The tackle, Stephen McCarty and Hayden Seeley. It is Dodd at quarterback. Richard Dodd now out of a gun. Flag down, Dodd in the pocket. Going to try to scramble and pull down on top of the line of scrimmage rather rudely by Miles Myers, senior defensive end, and a big one. Got a hay-hook tackle up there around shoulder high. Again, flag flew very early on the play.
And there might be a motion penalty on Hebron. We'll see. It'll be 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 6. They're going to go 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10.
11.
Take it back to the 40-yard line.
Well,
they will need 11 for a first down as they got to get a step into Farmer territory.
Brad, Freddie Dench is out there for. I'm not sure if Stephen McCarty's hurt or not, but Dench is out there on this side.
Matter
as
of
the
fact,
tackle.
working at left tackle. Hebron was 2nd down and 11 from their 40. Dodd to throw and airs it out to the far side. That is intercepted in Farmer territory, and coming away with it for Lewisville. In front of Derek Mueller, the intended receiver, is Corey Williams. Williams, one of the captains, and a fine job on the corner coverage of Derek Mueller. Richard Dodd hung it up there and said, somebody go get it. It was going to be one or the other, and it's Williams who comes away with the interception, Hebron's second turnover of the ball game.
Well, Hawks trying to loosen up that defense to get that running game going. Go up top that time, but that's a nice play by the corner on that side. The undersized one, and Corey Williams comes away with the football. It was a jump ball, and Corey was able to pull it away.
Nathan Grant back onto the field defensively for Hebron at defensive end. from the 38 after the takeaway. Here's Villarreal. Misexchange center to quarterback. Look out. Clay Holford's down at the bottom of that pile, and he gets the recovery, and the ball will go the other way. So, as we were, if you will, back-to-back plays, back-to-back turnovers. First, the interception for Lewisville by Williams, and then the fumble recovery. And, Peter, there was that malfunction at the junction at the mesh point between center and quarterback.
Well, exactly what the Hawks need, Brad. You need something positive, and even more so after Lewisville got on the scoreboard yet again. You have to find a way to punch it in the end zone here.
That's a sophomore, Richard Dodd, continuing to work at quarterback. He'll hand it away. That's Garbett. Outside, stiff arm. Runs by a guy, runs through another guy who pulls him down on the tackle, and that is Cortez Thomas on the stop from the 39. The gain is inside the 34-yard line, I believe, of 5, and a flag down across the way.
Brad, flag down, and this one I think's got to be on Lewisville. Derek Mueller walked away without a helmet on, and I think they finally gotten one of the Lewisville defenders for a little hands-in-the-face action. They've been going back and forth with the words the whole game. That time they got Corey Williams. That'll be 15 yards on top of the run for Garbett. So Hebron, maybe inside the red zone, ball might be placed right at the 20.
I think it'll be at the 21-yard line. I think he started marching from the 36, and in fact he did, and he'll set it down at the 21. So
that's why I don't do that. You do that.
In the pink zone.
But here's Hebron.
Working on a first down, giving an extra one there and an extra 15. Need to get a crooked number on the board for the Hawks, trailing 17-0.
Brad Denton, look at the middle of the field.
It is wide open. Here's Dodd at quarterback. Go running play inside Garbett. Head his team, tries to bounce out, and he's knifed down after the game from the 21 to the 18, maybe the 18.5. Josh Lund was the guy who scissored down Angelo after the gain of 2.5.
Boy, I'm not watching the play. I'm having more fun watching Derek Mueller and Corey Williams have a little WWF event down there on the outside on the sideline.
Mueller and Dawson wide right, throwing right to Mueller. That is caught by Mueller, make a guy miss, carry one down the sideline, spun out of bounds, close to a first down stick near the 11-yard line by Kenny Phillips is Derek Mueller.
Nice block by Christian Dawson, but I mentioned Derek Mueller and Corey Williams going at it over there. Points that time for Mueller. Nice throw by the young quarterback. Trent, is that the first Hebron completion of the evening?
That's the first Hebron completion out of 7 attempts.
That's good.
And certainly the first pass and catch delivered by one sophomore named Richard Dodd.
And the kid's got a nice-looking arm.
First down earned at the 11.
Single coverage out here on this side.
Hebron trailing by 17. Go running play. No, that's Dodd. A fake to Garbett and tries to go naked with no blockers wide left and weighed down by Myers, the pursuing defensive end, after the gain of 2 to the 9-yard line.
Well, he ran it to the side that there was nobody out on that side, but he just couldn't get the corner. Good pursuit by Lewisville on that play.
Yeah, big Miles Myers.
He's a nice-looking football player.
Hebron second down 9 from the 9. I guess you'd call it second down 8 from the 9. They need to achieve the 1 for a first.
10 in the box.
And need the 9 yards for the touchdown. Dodd under center. A little toss. A Garbett carry outside to the 5. Dig into the pylon. Touchdown, Angelo Garbett. Number 6 on the year for Angelo comes from 9 yards out. And Hebron marks in the scoreboard at the 6:08 mark of this third quarter.
Just when you think they may be done, the turnover, and Hebron gets in the end zone for the first time tonight. Angelo Garbett's first touchdown of the evening, Bradley, and his 6th of the season.
In fact, number 6 on the year. And here is the well-rested right instep of one Kyler Terry to boot it out of a Derek Mueller hold. The Mueller spot down, the line drive kick is good from Kyler Terry, and Hebron adds a straight number and a new count from Lewisville and Max Goldsmith Stadium. The Farmers 17 and the Hawks 7 on Champion Sports Radio.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores. 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting. It's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Back at Max Goldsmith's neighbor, Hebron finally on the scoreboard, take advantage of the short field. Trent Lynch.
Back-to-back turnovers, leaves a short field for the Hawks. Only 39 yards to go on 5 plays. A minute 37 off the clock. The 9-yard touchdown run, Angelo Garbett. The extra point, Terry, 17-7 Lewisville over Hebron.
Nick Horiata is the ensuing kickoff. He'll get a chip shot, and that's over the top and inside the 25, fielded by an up back and brought across the 25, and with that is Josh Lunn. He has sparkled defensively at safety, and here on a little kickoff return of 7-8 yards, and Dallas Shagoya is on the stop of the return guy. Lunn inside the Farmer 30, set it down at the 28, and the Farmers' lead has been whittled down back to 10, 17-7.
Well,
a lot of time left. We're just now, Peter, at the midway mark, quarter number 3.
Yeah, it's kind of put up or shut up time for this Hebron defense. Really played well in the first half. The second drive of the first drive of the second half didn't go so well. Created the turnover in the second drive.
This is Carl McGee at the running back.
No, that didn't.
Boy, that's
good.
3 flags in the air. False start will cost Lewisville. I mean,
that didn't look good.
Everybody jumping around except for Oscar Salinas, and they had to poke the center and say, "Hey, wake up and join us." And by the time he did,
Oscar,
there were
now that was the classic malfunction at the junction.
That wasn't pretty. I mean, bad enough that you'd think it might cost Lewisville more than 5, but it is only 5 on the revolving hands.
If they penalized each guy for moving, that would have been a 25-yard penalty.
First down, 15.
There, you got to get off the field, though.
Farmers from their 23, leading by 10. Adrian Villarreal out of a shotgun. Looks to throw, now pump fakes and keeps on a scramble. And picks up 5 to the 30-yard line. Give him 7 in total on the scramble on first down and 15.
That's a good job that time by the defensive line. Jarrett Lee forced him out of the pocket, and good pursuit from the inside of that defensive line, inside out. That's Nathan Grant back out in the football game making a tackle for Hebron.
The gain of 8.5, perhaps 9 to the 31.
Nice job here by offensive coordinator Gerald Bricky, slowing the game down a little bit.
The fullback is Isaac McDonald. At the top of the eye set is the quarterback. There's the quick throw in the far side.
Chapin.
And that is a very nice job by Chapin on that bubble screen intended across the way for Trinity Benson.
Fool me once, fool me twice. Hebron knows that bubble screen's coming. You got to be careful now, Brad, the old pump and go. 3rd down and 7. You know what it is. It's a big play.
Colton on one corner, Jelani Heath on the other. The Hebron safeties are Caleb Sauter along with Jordan Johnson. There's one wide guy to the left side, 2 to the left, and 1 to the right side.
Single coverage on the outside.
3rd down, 7. Villarreal looks to throw under big-time pressure, scrambles, rolling right. Now throws it down the field, incomplete. Almost able to buy the time, but pressure big time from Eberhard to force the throw, and he couldn't find the tight end, Spencer Greider.
But it's Jarrett Lee who has the pressure up the middle to force him out of the pocket. And you're right, Eberhard does a great job, and Brad, even a better job of Eberhard stopping, because he came close to hitting him after he threw the football. He ran off the field on 3rd down.
Almost a terrific job by Villarreal looking down and that a 3rd or 4th option in Greider, but Greider couldn't hang on to it.
Greider tried to do the old one-hander.
Mueller deployed to return, 4th down and 7. The punter is Matt McDonald. He'll take the snap at his 15, unload from the 20.
Oh, Jared almost got
get
there.
that kick away, and Mueller for the fair catch, and
they're in his
he'll
way
make
again.
that cleanly, and they are surrounding him. No flag this time.
What's the difference?
Mueller makes that fair catch. He is Mr. Automatic in that department at the 40-yard line. 5:01 of a third quarter clock showing. And Hebron goes to work trailing by 10, 60 yards away from the pay station.
Great field
and a
position.
little bounce in their step offensively.
A little bounce in the booth up here, too. And it's amazing what happens when something positive happens. And Hebron's defense able to get off the field. Let's see what the offense can do.
This is Richard Dodd at quarterback. Now Trey Pugh working in the backfield. It's a Pugh carry, and Pugh doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. That's big-time penetration by Miles Myers. That defensive end, M-squared, in Hebron's backfield and upending Trey Pugh in the loss of 2.
A good also pursuit that time from the backside by that guy DJ Jackson. You mentioned his names a bunch of times tonight. That was him also, Brad. A good job by Miles Myers, but DJ Jackson also in on that tackle.
Dodd, the sophomore signal caller, trying to engineer a Hebron comeback. He'll work out of a shotgun, 2nd down and 12. He'll drop the throw, a pump fake. Down the field, that's complete, and that's dropped at the 40-yard line. And it's Christian Dawson, who somehow in the wide open field saw it hit between the 1 and the 3 on the black jersey, and he coughed it up incomplete. Good heavens.
Absolutely perfect play call by Jamie Carr that time. They pumped the fake out to the wide receiver, and, oh, my God, something happened in the booth.
I tell you what, old Murphy moved in, and he hadn't moved out of town.
Somebody opened
the law of Murphy in there. Well, Hebron will reload and do it again on 3rd down and 12.
I know it wasn't a good play, but you didn't need to do that, Weston.
Long out of a shotgun. Long looks, long throws. That's complete. Mueller caught the line of scrimmage, spilled after a step-up field by Corey Williams. And a gain of 3 in all, and 4th down in a bunch. Hebron needs 9. And the Hawks at the 4-minute mark of the 4th quarter will have to punt it away.
Wow, that's a tough break for Hebron. They had a scheme. They had it schemed and just couldn't finish the play. Here's Gennard, though. Let's see if he can get another good punt off.
Trinity Benson on the near side and Corey Williams on the far side deployed. Stanton Turley to make a deep pass to his punter. And Jake Gennard, who will lift a kick away from his 32. That's another good kick. This is Benson from his 25, veers right 30, sideline 40. Good speed. He'll stop, cut against the grain. Good move at Hebron's 45, and he's on his way. Trinity Benson says, unlock the door. Here I come to the 10, to the 5, and to the house goes Trinity Benson with a 80-yard punt return. Benson was on the receiving end of the Lewisville third quarter touchdown off the opening of the back half kickoff. This time he's on the special teams touchdown and a distance punt return.
Either way, it's a kick. No matter what the yardage is, it's just a kick in the gut for the Hawks.
That it is. It comes at 3:26 of a third quarter. A fumble return for a touchdown in the first quarter for Lewisville. Now a punt return for a touchdown. And then sandwich in 10 other points scored offensively as Matt McDonald boots the point after touchdown through, and the Farmers regain that big lead. It's Lewisville 24 and Hebron 7. Go to break, 3:26, third quarter from Goldsmith Stadium.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huffines Dodge Dart. Only $269 a month on new Huffines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huffines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huffines has it.
.326 remains in our third quarter here at Max Goldsmith Stadium. The Farmers find yet another way to get on the scoreboard, and this one is a big play. Trent?
Punt return, Trinity Benson, 80 yards on the return. The extra point by McDonald, 24-7, Farmers. Trinity Benson, a 19-yard touchdown reception, and an 80-yard punt punt return.
And Trent, how about on the return in full steam up to about midfield, then slowed down, then stopped, and then cut against the grain.
Made the punter miss.
High short kick. It's on the ground, recovered by Mueller at the 32 in Hawk territory. That one had bite on it, and then Mueller came up, couldn't catch it, and watched it hit at the 30 and then backspin a yard to the 31 before Hebron's number 5, Derek Mueller, could jump on it. His ball club trailing 24-7. And they were down by 17 earlier in this third quarter. Then scratched on a garbage touchdown run of 9 yards to pull to within 10, but answered and very quickly, as you mentioned, 80 yards, Trinity Benson on the punt return. Here's a running play, and there's Garbett. Outside, right side, step through 1-2 tackles, head down, and across the 40 in the gain of 19 yards to the 48-yard line. Rolls Angelo Garbett, stopped finally by Cody Kearns.
No quitting Angelo Garbett, my friend, and continues to run hard, and every chance he gets to make a big play, he certainly gives Hebron that opportunity.
Angelo now north of 65 yards in that vicinity?
74 yards on 14 carries.
Here's Dodd. Handed away. Garbett breaks a tackle, breaks another, blows it into Farmer territory.
I believe Angelo Garbett's running mad right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's a very happy camper. Kenny Phillips, the safety on the stop of Garbett, who carries 2 yards upfield and another dozen downfield, 14 in total.
2 plays, 2 first downs for Hebron. They need to score quickly.
Earned this latest first at the Farmer 38-yard line. Here's Hebron trailing 24-7. Richard Dodd, sophomore signal caller, out of a pistol. Straight ahead, Garbett the carry, and he's cut down near the line of scrimmage. And on that stop is Nick Patton, loses his headgear in the process, and he'll have to head to the sideline.
And tells the Hawk offensive line about it. That's nice. Playing with a little edge, Nick Patton. And coaching staff over here in Lewisville tells Nick, just come back over here, please.
Modric Pelican checks in, and linebacker spelling Patton for the moment.
You've been wanting to say that one all night.
Yeah. Modric Pelican wears a 3-4 on the jersey. Here's Richard Dodd. Play action pass in the pocket. Sends it to the post and deep and incomplete. There's that flag.
What is the back judge watching?
We saw Trinity's, or rather Hebron's intended receiver, Christian Dawson, and just a handful of jersey, maybe then some, from the cover man, Kenny Phillips, the safety. Looked for the flag, waited for the flag, and then the flag did come, not out of the hip pocket, by the way.
The guy that was 40 yards away.
Yeah, it's like the head linesman over there that finally threw the flag.
Brad, and I've been good on, I've tried to be good this year. I made you guys a promise that I wasn't going to do this. And they're not going to even call pass interference. They're going to call holding. How is that?
Well, I don't know. It's a first down for Hebron.
Well, you said it best when we saw the names of these gentlemen, and I looked at you, and we've been doing this for a while.
We said that's not a who's who, that's a who's he.
And I guess when you get to the, down to the bottom of the barrel, this is what you get there. Kind of a questionable call there. I'm still not sure what the back judge is looking at.
First down from the 26.
Oh, look at this.
Now flags down, and that head linesman one more time with that pocket greased up, throws it up in the air. And it's a dead ball false start on Hebron. First down 10 from the 26 for the Hawks.
Hey, Flower Mound Marcus continues to lead Allen, if you want some good news, 17-14.
That is an eyebrow raiser. Allen ranked in the top 1-2 teams nationally, and they have had a stronghold on the Texas state number 1 ranking throughout the year.
And Flower Mound Marcus has the ball inside the 18-yard line of Allen.
First down 15. Here's
nice
a
move.
quarterback. Couple of pump fakes. Now he's going to scramble, and Richard Dodd does, in fact, scramble, not for much. Inside the 30 to the 28, the gain of 3. And tackled by George Haskins.
And it's a good thing that they got Mr. Todd, because our friend, the wide receiver for the evening, Jordan Johnson, was standing at the end zone waving at everybody. Hey, he just had no chance to get on the football. He was wide open.
He is a sophomore, standing 5'10" and weighing in at 170, Richard Dodd. And he's played admirably this evening. Here's a Garbett carry, runs away from one guy, veering left, break a tackle, 20, sideline 10, shucked out of bounds near the 5-yard line. It's first down goal, Hebron, from the 5 at the 118 mark of quarter number 3.
That's all Angelo Garbett, my friend.
Kenny Phillips shucked him over the near sideline at the 5.
Ran through 2, maybe 3 tackles.
Yeah, he did. Stiff-armed one and high-stepped out of the other. He is, in fact, a beast. And he has not been held under 100 yards yet this year. Topped out at 220 in the opener at Coppell.
And you don't have to worry about that tonight either, not a 111.
Well, he put that on TV for you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I appreciate it.
Dodd from the 5. Running play. Garbett, left side. Garbett hit it to 1 and spilled right there. That is a big-time blow by Nick Patton, the linebacker. Angelo gets more than half of it. He's inside the 2-yard line from right there, second and goal from the 2.
Finally.
Here's a very late flag.
Finally.
I think thrown to the mouthing linebacker, Nick Patton, who wanted to talk about a tackle he made on Angelo Garbett.
Brad.
And the line judge on the near side, Mr. Rodney Hamilton, finally heard more than he wanted to.
They've been talking every play. And, I don't know what it takes to get a penalty around with these guys, but they should have called the penalty a lot sooner than that. He did it the last time when he got his helmet knocked off, if you recall. He talked his way all off the field.
Unsportsmanlike will give Hebron half the distance, which isn't much. And an automatic first down goal to go. It's from the 1.
And the good news, that stops the clock. And Hebron needs all the help they can get with that clock.
Jonathan Wang, the centerpiece, will cover the football. Under sophomore quarterback Richard Dodd. The fullback is Ragsdale. The tailback is Garbett. A quarterback sneak. Dodd leaning, stretching. No call yet. Touchdown Hebron on the 1-yard sneak. Richard Dodd. This comes late. Third quarter at the 52nd mark. A first varsity touchdown for the sophomore signal caller, Richard Dodd. And looky here, the Hawks within a point after touchdown of creeping back to within 10. Kyler Terry. Stanton Turley snaps it. Mueller holds it. Terry kicks it, and it's blocked. And it's picked out of midair. That can be returned. On the fly, Colton gives chase and will chase out of bounds and tackle the would-be return guy. And that is Matthew Kibbe. Kibby, a starting safety, as Tyler is blocked on the very low point after touchdown attempt. Go to break. Hebron looks at the 11-point deficit. It's Lewisville 24, Hebron 13 on Champion Sports Radio.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Well, Trent Litch, Hebron on the scoreboard again here in the third quarter. That's 4 scoring plays here in the third quarter.
7-play, 69-yard drive, 2 minutes and 36 seconds. The 1-yard touchdown run by Richard Dodd, the sophomore. His first touchdown of the year. The extra point was blocked. There's 50 seconds left in the third quarter. 24-13 Lewisville.
Horiadas with the kickoff. Trinity Benson off his hands and back to the goal line now, retrieves. And that's a good tackle across the 10. Caleb Sauter flying around and knocks him down at the 11. Trinity Benson, he the youngster who scorched an 80-yard touchdown trail on a third quarter punt return. Watch this one clang off his hands at around the 5, and it tumbled toward the goal line, and he had to retrieve it.
Good pursuit by Sauter. That's good coverage after giving up the punt return. Hebron, again, Brad, they're not going to quit.
Well, digging in, Lewisville leading by 11 in some territory trouble. First down Farmers from their 11-yard line. Villarreal with McGee behind him. He wants to throw, and he'll shoot a pass to the far flat. That's caught at the 10 and up into the 15-yard line. And coming away with the catch is Creel, and Colton Chapin knocks him on his numbers at the 17.
Well, you've been asking for Mapanga. Mapanga's out there making that tackle, but it was Chapin low. Mapanga over the top, and Gerald's excited about the tackle.
Second down and a short 4 as the final seconds will slip away in this, our third quarter, from Max Goldsmith Stadium, where we are through 3. And at the end of the third quarter, our count, the Lewisville Farmers 24, the Hebron Hawks 13.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Well, for a final time, we'll change ends of the field here in the fourth frame. The Hawks will work from our left to right, from north to south. And the Farmers at the moment, with possession of the football, will work from south to north, our right to left. Dressed Lewisville this evening in a very light gray trouser, same color of jersey. That's a maroon headgear, white stripe down the middle, interlocking LF on either side of the helmet, Lewisville Farmers. Hebron answers with a rare road look, which is all black. Top over trouser, white numerals, no trim on the pants. Very straight-looking uniform, white headgear for Hebron with a blue H on either side of the helmet. Big play, second down and 4, early fourth. The quarterback draw, Adrian Villa, puts up an argument and still fighting and breaking out of a tackle at the 25, and he'll scramble all the way out to the 36-yard line. A gain of 19 for Adrian Villarreal, finally stopped in pursuit by defensive end Gerald Mapanga.
I got to tell you, Clay Holford's out there playing with, hold on. Clay Holford's out there playing with one arm, and he got no help on that play. He was there to make the tackle. Villarreal was held up. Nobody came, and you're right, Brad, somebody's got to tackle.
Got to give some help. Gang tackle, rally to that football. Villarreal for 19 out to his 36. First down, Farmers, leading by 11. Oh, here's a little trickery, and there's Julian Harris all in his face. It's an incompleted pass, and big-time pressure from junior defensive end Julian Harris on Adrian, and Adrian just coughed that thing up, a panic pass, partially blocked by Harris, otherwise perhaps intercepted by Hebron.
Good pressure that time by Julian Harris, and that's what you need to see. And, Brad, I know it stops the clock, too. Kind of surprised that Lewisville, with the lead, continues to throw the football.
Yeah, that was a misdirection play, and a little bit of trickery, and Hebron didn't buy it. Second down, same 10 from that 36. Two wide receivers right, one left. Villarreal out of a shotgun. He'll throw to the far flat, and that's caught by Creel. Splits a tackler, makes another guy miss. Jamison Cooper finally runs him down, but not before Cameron Creel rolls into Hebron territory and near the Hebron 35, and there is a late flag near midfield.
Maybe a block in the back. Maybe things are starting to turn a little bit here, partner. Yep, some heads down, people walking back.
I think your point's well taken. Rick Ford is our head official tonight. He'll be very deliberate in the call.
Rick Ford is definitely not a Mustang, more like a Model T when he's calling the play, the penalties. He certainly does take his time. Rick, there's no TV tonight, buddy.
Block in the back against Lewisville. We'll mark it back 10 yards from the infraction.
It's a big call.
Must have happened at the 49 in Hebron territory. It's marked back to the 41 of the Farmers.
So second
and what? About a 5, Peter?
Yeah, second down 5. But that's a big play, and Hebron's done a good job of slowing that play down. That time they weren't able to, and I'd go back to, if Lewisville found something there, they just can continue to run it.
Creel and Shavers wide right, wide left is Benson. And Villarreal will take it on a quarterback run by design off tackle right side and pick up 3, maybe 3.5 of the 5 needed. Big play forthcoming. Julian Harris, at the bottom of the stack defensively for Hebron. Third down and 2.
Buddy Angelo Garbett is a football player. He's out there. He's run for over 100 yards. He's out there playing defensive outside linebacker and just throwing his body into the pile on that play. Huge, huge, huge play here for Hebron.
The quick response from his head coach in a pregame interview was, hey, Angelo's a warrior. Big play, 3rd down 2 from the Farmer 44. Villarreal to throw this way, and that is caught. With free field.
That's a
This
hold.
is Benson. Benson on his way down the sideline, and he'll leave a trail of would-be tacklers behind him and take it all the way in for the touchdown of 56 yards.
Well, they got the corner block that time, although let's say
Well, you thought it was hold.
I thought it was. Trent says no, but hey, Lewisville on the scoreboard again. No matter what I think.
56-yard touchdown pass, Villarreal to Trinity Benson. Second time they've hooked up tonight for 6 points. This one all on the run after the catch was made on that wide receiver bubble screen thrown straight down the line. Matt McDonald, little chip shot extra point is good. And 10-17 remaining in our fourth quarter, and the Farmers open up their big lead of the ball game. It is Lewisville 31 and Hebron 13 on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Heinz Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
Villarreal is just on fire, and they're doing it with the short pass play, but that one breaks big.
It sure does. That was an 89-yard drive on 6 plays, 2 minutes, 33 seconds. The 56-yard touchdown pass. Villarreal to Trinity Benson. The second time they've hooked up tonight. Trinity Benson, 109 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Adrian Villarreal, 163 passing yards for 2 touchdowns. So you can tell they love to hook up tonight.
Little chip shot from McDonald. 1 hop, 2 recovered by Lewisville at the Hebron 35. And let's see who the blur was down there. I'll bet you he's wearing a number 7. In fact, he is. That's Josh Lund. That's that little chip shot, and Hebron's up back wasn't ready for it.
Anything that can go wrong, is going wrong.
Yep. Chicken Little said the sky was falling, and he's finally telling the truth.
I don't know about Chicken Little, but
don't forget, Trent, you were rolling out the big numbers offensively of Trinity Benson. Put an asterisk beside all those numbers and add the 80-yard punt return touchdown.
He might be a high school hero in the paper this.
Now a short field from the Hebron 35 running play. In fact, they'll go reverse and back to Villarreal, who's going to throw it, and deep.
Really?
And inside the 5, the 10, a flag down. The ball player that made the catch at the 4-yard line is down. A flag down in the vicinity. Cameron Creel somehow made the catch over Colton Chapin.
Brad, there's a flag back at the 35-yard line as well.
2 flags.
I think they may have offensive pass interference, not defensive.
I'll tell you what, Cameron Creel, the guy who made what was a circus catch, is coming back with the palms up like, how could you possibly call that?
How about Craig Miller up 17, going to empty the playbook, huh? Interesting.
Goes with the reverse handoff, pass it back to the quarterback.
18.
Let's see what we got. Holding Lewisville, pass interference against Hebron. Offsetting. Back to the 35. First down and 10.
I saw it the way you did, buddy. I'm on your side. But I don't know. Up 18, we're going to run a reverse pass.
Yep. 10 minutes remaining. And as you mentioned, the threat at 18, 31-13. Villarreal again going to throw and deep. And that's swatted back by Holford. And bless Clay Holford's heart. He's played a whale of a ball game with a hyper-extended right elbow, and he is literally playing with one arm.
Yeah, he really is, and no quit. Easily they could have gone over to Coach Mock and said, hey, I'm done. I can't play anymore. But no, down 18, he's out there playing his heart out.
Listed somewhere between iffy and doubtful into the game.
Did not practice all week.
Was Holford, 3-year starter. Second down, 10. Lewisville leading 31-13 from Hebron's 35. And Lewisville will go on a quarterback keeper off right tackle. That's a fine hit by Garbett.
Guess who?
Yeah, just sliced down Villarreal after a short gain of 3 to the 32-yard line. Here, Greg Miller and his offensive coordinator, Gerald Brixey, is starting to slow this game down and nurse the 18-point lead at 31-13.
They've had their way in the second half, and kind of surprised they continue to throw the football. But you got to do what it's working, and if it's working, I guess you continue to do it.
Well, you only have 3 district wins in the last how many years, Brad? Sometimes maybe you...
About a half dozen.
I didn't want to say that.
Not many. But I'm telling you what, it'll be hats and horns tonight, and they have never beaten Hebron. And this the 9th meeting. And we've got a delay of game against Lewisville. And these Farmers they can hang on to the lead, and it's going to be tough not to for them. They will swagger out of here with a record of 2-2 and 1-1 in District 6-5A play. And I tell you what, Pete, it has been a while since Lewisville has been dead level at 500 through 4 football games into a season. So hats off to them. They've got some athletes, and things have really worked out for them this evening. Villarreal looking left to throw, and throws, and that is complete. Caught at the 35 and carried down the sideline by that guy again, Trinity Benson. Knocked out of bounds, walking the chalk at the 27-yard line, beg your pardon. Caleb Sauter forcing the action at the 27. Trinity Benson again add to the numbers, and very quickly on the receiving end for Benson, 119 yards, that on 8 catches, 2 for touchdowns.
Meanwhile, 4th down, and they're going to go for it.
Need 2. Play from Hebron's 27. In the backfield is Carl McGee. Has not been used much in the running game. The fullback is Isaac McDonald.
What now?
Now a timeout taken by Lewisville. 8:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. We'll take the timeout with them. It's the Farmers 31, the Hawks 13 on Champion Sports Radio.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Back in Max Goldsmith Stadium, 8:37 remain in our fourth quarter. It's Lewisville 31, the Hebron Hawks 13. And Brad, we talked about this in the beginning. Lewisville with the big donut in eight other games against Hebron. About to change that.
Yeah, and they're feeling pretty good about it right here. And well, why not? They have played pretty well tonight. And it has been a while. In fact, a first ever time to come away victorious in a game against the Hebron Hawks since Hebron was elevated into Class 5A. Hebron now will spend the time out as we remind our listeners that the Hebron Hawks on Champion Sports Radio, the broadcast of Lewisville ISD football, this one featuring the Hawks and the Farmers. It's brought to you in part by Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano. That's where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. with a newer used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram from Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano. You get a reliable automobile, you get a new automobile, and you get all that at a price that doesn't break the bank. Hebron Hawk football presented by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano.
This broadcast is also sponsored in part by ShockboxDFW.com. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it's the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that can result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today.
After back-to-back timeouts, Lewisville will unfold the 4th and 2 play from Hebron's 27 at the 8:37 mark for fourth quarter. And they'll empty out the backfield. Villarreal by himself out of a shotgun. He'll keep it himself. He'll gain 5, 7, 9, 10 on 4th and 2, turning that into a 1st and 10. Julian Harris on the delinquent tackle for Hebron at the 17.5-yard line.
Big hole that time. And I tell you what, young man, he's a load when he gets going and not easy to bring down. Hebron struggled tackling tonight, but it's not like they're tackling a minute back. He's a big young man.
No, yeah, he is. Adrian Villarreal, a junior, started some ball games last year as a sophomore, and thick through the thighs and moves around pretty good and throws it pretty good. Very serviceable high school quarterback.
What? Let's keep it here.
I think they've got confusion, Lewisville, offensively, and they'll call the timeout to try to clear that confusion. Peter, what's up down there?
Brad, there's also somebody sometimes we don't get to and we really need to say thanks to, and that's the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. GDO Institute, those folks there. Check out gdo.org to learn more about the amazing group, including when your next chance is to enjoy a cultural experience with your family without breaking the bank. That's the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. They do a nice job.
Third quarter has not been kind to the Hawks. That is where Lewisville tonight outscored Hebron 14-13, but in total through 4 ball games, that old third quarter for the Hawks, they have been outscored 70-26. So they've been outscored a bunch. Well, here's Lewisville. They'd love to put a little icing on the cake, leading 31-13. Villarreal bobbles the snap, zigs and zags on a quarterback keeper, ad-libbing, and Holford will get the biggest part of a gang tackle after the gain of the 3 to the 15-yard line. On Villarreal, picking a snap off of his ankles, kind of bobbling, said snap a little bit, and then just gathering it up and getting what he could was 3.
Again, great pursuit by Clay to the football and still out there playing. And that's just the Hebron way. You know, things aren't going the Hebron Hawks way, and they haven't. Let's just be honest, the whole season. But no quit, no give up.
Villarreal will send the wide targets. Creel to the right, Benson to the left. And they'll go on a play-action pass to the end zone, and that is caught for a touchdown. And on the receiving end of it, guess who? Trinity Benson. This one from 15 yards away, and the catch was made in front of the safety covering Antoine Partee.
I don't know if you heard me in your ear, Brad. They couldn't get lined up again, and they didn't. And Villarreal found the hole in that zone, and disappointing.
Villarreal to Trinity Benson, 15 yards. For Benson, a 4th touchdown on the night, 3 passing, 1 on the punt return. Here's McDonald. Lifts it out of the hold of Brarian Bob, and the point after touchdown takes the Farmer total to 38. 38 for Lewisville, 13 for the Hawks on Champion Sports Radio.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Sure glad you're here, my friend. Another touchdown pass for the Lewisville Fighting Farmers.
Yeah, the 15-yard touchdown pass. Pretty redundant tonight here with Villarreal to Trinity Benson to McDonald extra point. 38-13 Lewisville. That was a 6-play, 35-yard drive. 3 minutes, 5 seconds off the clock.
Remember, it was off the muff kickoff for Hebron. Or the deep onside, however you want to call it.
Almost the third turnover that's led to points. You can almost call that a turnover.
McDonald to Garbett. Angelo from the 2. Up the right hash mark, 15-20, spinning out of a tackle at the 23. And there's the end of the way on a gang stop at the 25-yard line on Angelo Garbett. Corey Williams leads the charge for Lewisville. And here's Hebron offensively. Man, all of a sudden looking at the deficit of 38-13, trailing by 25.
Yep, but it comes down to pride now. Just go out and see what you can get. You build some confidence for your young quarterback, and unfortunately, this is the hardest time to do that.
That young quarterback is a sophomore. His name is Richard Dodd. And he'll set to throw, and he'll throw it, and a deep man open. That's Joe Martin, the tight end. The catch at the 45. The carry into Farmer territory to the 45 and down to the Lewisville 40-yard line. So 31 yards up and 10 down. 41 yards on the completion from Richard Dodd to tight end Joe Martin.
Joe Martin's first reception of the evening. And the young man has a good arm if he's given a chance to get the ball out, and that time he made a nice throw.
Inside of 7 minutes. Hebron going to work on the ground with the carry on the outside and tackled pretty quickly for the Hawks, a brand new jersey, and Reggie Evans. Knocked down by Nick Patton Evans. Seniors 5'6" and 175. First carry of the night here late fourth quarter.
And Lewisville coaching staff had some second teamers out there, and that didn't last very long. Like Trent said, it doesn't happen very often. They don't want to make sure that this one doesn't slip away, I guess.
Richard Dye will go under center. It's Evans continuing to work at tailback. He'll take a toss sweep, and he'll go left, and he'll turn a corner and put up a fight all the way towards the first down mark. A gain of 7. Stopped a yard shy of the stick over there at the 31-yard line.
Hey, I like Reggie Evans. He gets out there and got a chance in the Plano game and busted a long one, and he's out there busting it and working real hard. Good for him. Senior getting a chance to run the football for Hebron.
3rd down and 1 for the Hawks at the Farmer 31. 5.5 remaining. Evans again, running play left side, gets a first down plus 3 more and hammers it down to the Farmer 27. And the clock will stop at the 5:29 mark. Josh Lunn, he's certainly not a backup, has been a tremendous game from the safety position on the stop of Evans.
Richard Dodd led the way on that run there. Brayman and Dodd. I like Brayman. Boy, the junior will be back next year for Hebron, and we may have found something here in the quarterback in Richard Dodd.
Yeah, Dodd under. And here's a play-action pass. He'll shoot it over the middle. Joe Martin is open. Catch 5. Touchdown. Hebron Hawks from 27 yards away. Corey Williams was the corner on the cover, and he was toasted by Joe Martin.
Toasted he was. Joe Martin's first touchdown of the season, and I just said the words. I think you might have found something in this young quarterback, and that's a nice-looking drive for the Hawks. Again, it's all Hebron Hawk pride right there.
Richard Dodd to Joe Martin, 27 yards. And here's Kyler Terry. Out of a hold of Derek Mueller, good with the point after touchdown. And Hebron will hang a 7 spot on the board here with 5:04 remaining in the fourth quarter. Go to break with a new count. Lewisville 38, Hebron 20 on Champion Sports Radio.
Is here. To get Huff Heinz' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Heinz Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
His name is Richard Dodd. He's the new quarterback for the Hebron Hawks. Tell us about that drive.
Actually, it was a drive of Richard Dodd and Joe Martin. 5 plays, 81 yards, 2:02 off the clock. The 27-yard touchdown pass, Dodd to Martin. But just prior to that was a 41-yard pass from Dodd to Martin. So very nicely done by the youngsters on that drive for the Hebron Hawks. It's the Farmers 38, the Hawks 20.
Brad, after the kickoff, I'd like to get a chance to catch up with the 6A scoreboard, 6A scoreboard, if you would let me.
Promise, I'll give you a window. Nick Horiades puts a little pooch kick, and that's Trinity Benson running it down on 2 hops at his 20-yard line. And he'll zig to the 19, giving ground, and finally dives down at the 18-yard line, and Lewisville will go to work leading by 18 at 4:56. Marchagoya and Julian Garcia on the tackle. Peter, it's all yours.
Plano continues to lead Flower Mound 28-7. Plano West, boy, they are good offensively. 56-23, third quarter over McKinney Boyd, and something special going on down the road, but it's not as special as it was a second ago. Allen just scored, but 28-24, Allen leads Marcus in the fourth quarter. It was 24-21 the first time I looked.
Well, keep an eye on that.
I think I will.
Here's the Farmers up by 18. At quarterback is the junior Adrian Villarreal. He'll milk the play clock all the way down, finally take a snap very late, and they'll go running play with McGee sticking the nose behind the left side of his offensive line, and why not? From the 19, the gain of 5 to the 24, junior nose guard Jarrett Lee, collaborating with another underclassman, the junior defensive end Julian Harris, on the tackle of Carl McGee, gain of 5.
A bunch of juniors getting a chance to play, and I'm glad to see Clay Holford out of the football game for Hebron. Does just no need to be out there at this point.
Adrian Villarreal out of a shotgun, looking to throw, shoots a pass behind intended receiver Cameron Creel, who was covered by Colton Chapin on the corner this way. By the way, for Hebron in it, that inside linebacker is Cameron Isom. Isom wearing a number 4-8, played some tight end earlier in the game, now spelling Clay Holford at that inside linebacking position. Isom, a junior, called up just this week from the junior varsity.
Lewisville choosing to throw the football, incomplete pass, stops the clock. Perhaps I am the biggest Hebron homer, but
let's be an
get a stop here.
Third down 5 from the 24. Here's Villarreal rolling left, sets and fires. That's complete, and the first down earned. Catch was made in front of Colton Chapin by Cameron Creel. Creel and Benson, that's quite a 1-2 punch in the receiving corps. I know Benson has more catches than Creel, but Creel has been visible in this ball game.
That's good looking pitch and catch right there. I don't care. Rolling left, throwing across your body for the first down. Trent, what do you got?
Well, Cameron Creel, 7 catches for 64 yards, along with Benson's 141 on 9 catches.
As I say, pretty respectable 1-2 punch. And a pretty good gunslinger back there in Adrian Villarreal. Little handoff and nothing doing right there for Robert Taylor. Running play, and the running play has not been there throughout the evening for Lewisville.
That's Jarrett Lee.
Lee is on the stop, and there's Gerald Mapunga, also gnawed at his ankle, and Jason Lynch in defensively. Hebron will send in Victor Miller at defensive end, and a kiddo who's played a bunch tonight, offensively and defensively. Nathan Grant checks out.
Hayden probably tired.
Second down and a dozen from the former 34. Villarreal keeps it and going to run. A flag is down, and finally Adrian Villarreal is spilled across his 40-yard line. That's a gain of 7 to the 41. Donovan Burton is on the tackle out of Hebron's secondary, and a timeout is taken by Hebron. We stay here during the stoppage in play.
Mapunga's hurt.
I don't think that you can say enough about the game that Adrian Villarreal has had tonight.
Been very efficient, hasn't he?
14 carries, 83 yards, and throwing the ball 18 of 27 for 200, and 3 of those passes were for touchdowns to Trinity Benson. So he's been effective
Pretty
both
good.
running and throwing the ball tonight.
When he runs, Trent, you make a great point. When he runs hard. So,
well, he's as thick as Angelo Garbett.
Yeah.
You know, on his lower half.
Yeah.
He's strong.
Yeah, and you know, I made the joke going to break that we make everybody, this season has been such for Hebron, we make everybody look like Des Bryant and Adrian Peterson. This young man's doing a pretty good job of looking like somebody special as well.
Like Adrian Villarreal.
Yeah, good point, Bradley.
3rd and 5. Farmers from Lewisville's 41. Villarreal going to tuck it himself, going to keep it and fight his way. 3rd down and 5. Got 4 of the 5 before he ran into Shagoya along with Jamison Cooper. 4th and 1. And timeout taken by Hebron. They've had some guys who could pick them up and lay them down around here. I think Lewisville's most charmed, most publicized athlete was running the ball back in my era, Peter. Paul Rice, a Farmer 1972 through 1974. Career 5,270 total yards rushing. And Paul Rice was the bluest of blue chips. Took his talents out to the University of Southern California, Tailback University. Went away like a ghost. Never heard much from Paul Rice again. I think he had a brief stop at SMU on his way back home. Go ahead, Pete.
Too late now. But everybody knows about somebody that no one knows. But that's good. That's good.
Well,
Paul
they
Rice.
need to know about Paul Rice.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
That's good. The San Francisco treat.
They might need to know about that 1972 finalist with
4th down.
Joe Martin at quarterback.
4th down.
And 1. Farmers work from their 45. Villarreal, bet she keeps it. Villarreal hands it. In fact, that is Mr. Benson angling to the right side off tackle and picking up a bunch more than the one he needed. In fact, from his 45, he'll carry to the midfield stripe to the Hebron 46-yard line. Jelani Heath on the tackle as we tick inside of 3 minutes.
You mentioned Joe Martin. Is that the old Allen head football coach?
Absolutely. Taking snaps here as a Lewisville Fighting Farmer under head coach Billy Shipman. Took the ball club all the way to the championship game. Lose to Uvalde, the Coyotes, in the 72 final, 33-28. Yes, sir.
And Joe Martin. He was
you
nice
can
kid.
talk to Joe Martin from now on about Paul Rice.
Okay, well, thank you. Anybody that's just left, was listening, just left. But that's okay.
Maybe a new quarterback in for Lewisville.
Yeah, they had a line change.
And a full line change, and now they're going to go pretty conservative, and I can applaud that. The ball carrier for the Farmers there is Jameer Carr. He's tackled by Jarrett Lee. And that Farmer quarterback who just checked into the ball game is Aubrion Bobb, B-O-B-B, senior. Backup quarterback behind Adrian Villarreal. That's Taylor in now at tailback.
Good.
A handoff to a fullback, and Hebron diagnoses very early on the play, and that old fullback is
Zane Johnson, I believe that is in there.
Rolled down right there.
Senior getting a chance to play for the Fighting Farmers.
Matter of fact, it is a 4-0 on the jersey. Zane Johnson. Antoine Partee, a big part of a two-man stop. 3rd down and 7 Final minute and a half slipping away inside of the 1:15 mark as the Farmers hustle to the line of scrimmage at a belated huddle. Watch that play clock tick inside of 5 before they call for the football. Here they go, run and play. Outside, and Hebron diagnosis. I think it's Victor Miller in on the stop at defensive end of the ball carrier, Robert Taylor.
Yeah, they're going to have to
Nothing
run a play.
doing there. Going to have to run one more play. It's 4th down and 10.
What is McDonald doing out there?
Yeah, I think McDonald may be on to punt it away.
Okay, I thought they were going to try a field goal.
McDonald handles all the kicking chores. And he has been straight on tonight, including the opening score, which was his 32-yard first quarter field goal.
20-second difference in the play clock and the game clock, my friends.
And there's the delay of game, and that'll stop the clock right there.
Uh-oh.
Play clock ran out. Delay of game, Farmers.
A couple extra kicks. 41 back there for Hebron to return the punt if there is one.
Terry Wheeler.
Another young man we haven't seen very much of for the Hawks. But
Hebron takes a week off next week. It's the bye. And then if you stick your ear to the railroad tracks, you might hear Allen rolling down towards Hawk Stadium 2 weeks from tonight on October 10.
The good news is Hebron has a chance to get a little bit healthy. We think Brian Drew will be back. We think Isaiah Gary will be back. There's a chance you may get to see the season debut of Hicks-Ono too. So we'll see. That Allen bunch, boy, is tight out at Marcus. Still 28-24. They lead. Game's getting late.
Terry Wheeler will be deployed to return the punt. It'll come off the right foot of farmer Matt McDonald.
Bradley Allen just scored
again. Thanks for not jumping on that old McDonald having a farm or something like that tonight.
Allen just scored again, 35-24 now.
Wow.
Kyler Murray, an 8-yard touchdown run.
Special. That's a high kick. This is Wheeler drifting back, making the catch at the 15 and getting the face full of Farmer. He's driven back to near the 10-yard line.
And some flags.
There's 2 flags.
Some kiddos getting a chance to play. I think Devin Owens that time for Hebron is going to be flagged for a personal foul a little late.
Hebron sees their season mark dip to 0-5. The losing streak stretched to half a dozen. 6 seconds remaining.
One other thing we may see against Allen is the debut start of a new quarterback being a sophomore.
I already said that. Yeah, I'm going to make you wish Richard deal. Dodd will have an opportunity to.
I'd be shocked, wouldn't you?
I would be.
To work the quarterback position. See how he can do these last half the season. There's a snap, and he'll go down on a knee, and the final 5 seconds will slip away, and these teams will line it up at midfield and shake a hand, and it's all congratulations the way of the Fighting Farmers of Lewisville, who win it by a final count of 38-20. Farmers by 18 over the Hawks, and with the win, Lewisville now to 2 wins and 2 losses on the year, and Hebron nothing for 5, still in search of the season's initial win. We'll have to wait a couple of weeks before they can lace them up again, the Hebron Hawks. We invite you to stay tuned for our postgame show. It's brought to you by In Command Broadcasting. It's up next on Champion Sports Radio.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Lewisville.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number 1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org and let your heart be heard.
Peter, going to be a quick peel of the onion here on this one as we take a look at that 38-20 Farmer win. We don't want to harp on it, but hats off to the Farmers. You doff your cap to Greg Miller and the bunch over there. It's the first time they won a district ball game in a while, and the first time they beat Hebron in this, the 9th try, dating back to a first meeting in 2006.
What did you say? 1-29 in the last 5 years? Well, now it's 2-29.
Yeah, and not many district wins for Lewisville, so they have to be absolutely thrilled with themselves. Before we go on, Pete, one other group we want to thank is the athletic department here at the Lewisville Independent School District. Of course, not only Lewisville, not only Hebron, but Flower Mound and Marcus and the Colony and all the middle schools. They're a pleasure to work with week in, week out. I was able to talk this morning with the first-year Lewisville ISD athletic director, Tim Ford, and belatedly calling them up saying, hey, sorry, at 11th hour, got busy this week, but could we use one of the booths at Goldsmith Stadium? He said, not a problem. I'll pass the names on, and we'll take care of you, Brad. But I was able to ask him, first year, new job, how's it going? He said A+. I said, you're A+ too, Tim Ford. Thanks for being here.
Well, when you're Tim Ford and you walk into a school district like this and sports departments like this, he's got a reigning state baseball champion.
Yes, sir.
He's got some basketball teams that are pretty good. He's got some pretty darn football good teams in this area too. So it's a good job to have, and he'll do a good job. You know, I've talked to Coach Brazel about his new boss, and thumbs up. So you got a chance to meet him, and that's good. And hopefully we'll maybe one week can get him on the broadcast with us.
Let's recap this thing, Peter. It all got started with Hebron taking the game's initial kickoff and Lewisville digging in and kicking up some dirt defensively in the very early go and forcing Hebron on a 3-and-out after the Hawk punt. The Farmers took over and kicked up a little dust offensively. How about a 55-yard, 11-play drive? They took off on their own 30-yard line and marched 55 yards before the drive finally stalled, and they brought out Matt McDonald, and he was true with a 32-yard field goal at 5:01 of a first quarter, and the Farmers raced out to a lead they would never relinquish, 3-0 at the time. Turned that 3 into a 10 spot on a defensive fumble a couple of series later as Hebron's Trey Pugh with a carry and stopped at the line of scrimmage and spun around and stripped, and well, he fumbled. It was picked up by Cortez Thomas, and the big safety scooped and took it 43 yards for the score defensively at 2:58 of that first quarter. Mr. McDonald, good again, 10-0 Lewisville as the first quarter rolled into the second quarter, and that saw Lewisville at 9 minutes remaining until halftime. Take a commanding 17-0 lead on a 7-play, 58-yard drive. The final 19 yards covered through the air. Quarterback Adrian Villarreal to Trinity Benson. 19-yard TD strike. And McDonald's point after 17-0. Hebron tries to bounce back as play moves to the third quarter, and the Hawks score midway through that third quarter on a 5-play, 39-yard drive. Angelo Garbutt, a 6th rushing touchdown of the year from 9 yards away. This was off of a turnover, therefore the short 39-yard field. Again, 5 plays. Kyler Terry, point after touchdown. Farmers up 17-7. Still in that third frame, and Lewisville takes away whatever momentum Hebron had, and they do it in a hurry at the 3-minute, 26-second mark on a special teams touchdown. How about an 80-yard punt return by the guy we heard from earlier from the wide receiver position? We'd hear from him again later, but this time on special teams, the punt return of Trinity Benson of 80 yards. McDonald, point after touchdown. Farmers 24-7. Very late in that third frame, Hebron bounces back, goes 69 yards in 7 plays, and it's capped off by a 1-yard sneak from the quarterback, the sophomore Richard Dodd, who took over in the second quarter. The point after touchdown from Kyler Terry, well, it was blocked, and the Farmer lead at 24-13 as we turn quarter number 3 into quarter number 4. And the first part of that fourth quarter, all Lewisville. 6-play, Farmers go 89 yards, score at 10-17 of that fourth quarter on a 56-yard touchdown pass. Adrian Villarreal to Trinity Benson, 56 yards. Matt McDonald, point after touchdown, A-OK. Farmers 31-13. Lewisville will stretch it out to a 38-13 lead. That 25-point spread, their big lead of the ball game. They're in the fourth quarter with a touchdown at the 7:06 mark on a 6-play, 35-yard drive. And again, it's that pitch and catch combination. Adrian Villarreal to Trinity Benson. The touchdown strike from 15 yards out. Matt McDonald, point after, 38-13. Farmers the lead, midway mark, fourth quarter. Hebron gets a possession, cashes in. 5 plays, 81 yards, big completion of 41 yards on the series from quarterback Dodd to tight end Joe Martin, and that was just a preview of what was to come later in the drive. It only took 2:02 off that fourth quarter clock. Hebron scoring at the 5:04 mark of the final frame on a 27-yard touchdown strike. Initial varsity touchdown pass from Richard Dodd, the sophomore, and the junior tight end latches on. That's Joe Martin. Kyler Terry's point after is good, and it creates the arrangements for our final score, still illuminated on the board here at Max Goldsmith Stadium. The Fighting Farmers of Lewisville 38 and the Hawks of Hebron 20. Lewisville scores in 3 of the 4 quarters, and again, Peter, as you look back on this one, the Farmers a 10-0 lead at halftime, but then a whole bunch of points scored in that final couple of quarters. In fact, between the teams, 48 tallied on the board in the second half.
And Brad, a great job with that scoring summary. And while you were doing it, I had the glasses down on the field, and you got a feel for some of these seniors. And I followed Angelo Garbett, and he just, the kid plays so darn hard. And from everything you hear about the young man, he's just a quality young man. And everybody, he just wanted to be by himself. He was over leaning on the goalpost, and finally one of the Hebron coaches went over and got him. And never in a million years, I'm going to go on a limb, never in a million years did Angelo Garbett think that this season would start out 0-5. And the kid plays so hard offensively. Defensively, Trent, when we come back, we'll talk about stats. And Weston just finally caught up with Brian Brazel after a lengthy talk with his football team. We'll talk about those stats, but man, this is hard, and it's hard for the Hebron supporters. It's hard for us, but you got to feel for these seniors who have just worked so hard, and especially a kid like Angelo Garbett that has so much in front of him.
Go to break here. We'll come back, review this one numerically, and I hope we hear from Coach Brazel as the post-game programming brought to you by In Command Broadcasting continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio.
Teams you care about, and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Do you need a boost in exposure? Want to reach local, community-minded folks with information about your business? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games for more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. It's also a way for your business to give back to the community by helping all these well-deserving student-athletes get some recognition for their accomplishments. The cost simply can't be beat for the effect it will have. You get a lot of bang for your buck, and best of all, it provides an opportunity for the best advertisement of all, word of mouth. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334, or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Back at Max Goldsmith Stadium as the Lewisville Fighting Farmer Band practices for their big performance down the road in the state competition. Brad Denton, we'll take a look at, before we get a chance, Trent Lynch goes through the numbers, and get a chance one more time to look at the 6-6A scoreboard tonight. And here's your scores. Plano takes care of Flower Mound 35-13. McKinney Boyd and Plano West, it's like a basketball game. Plano West 62, McKinney Boyd 30. And the big game of the night, the one that we've followed most of the evening, Allen takes care of Marcus, but a lot closer than most people thought it would be. 35-24 is the final up at the new Marauder Stadium. Very nice job. Very good game. I'll tell you what, Jerry Stanford has it going on up there at Marcus, and that's a team that you might not want to see in the playoffs. They're a pretty good football team.
They are not bad. Our man Weston Lynch caught up with 15th-year Hebron head coach Brian Brazel after a disappointing loss and a long talk with his Hawks. And Weston, we appreciate the hustle, and heck, let's give it a listen.
Coach, I know this is a tough one to talk about, but if you would, tell me about the play of your sophomore quarterback, Richard Dodd, and the positives you saw of that.
Well, I thought Richard did some good things. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities in the first half to complete some balls that we just didn't do, and but I thought he came in and played good. There was, we got some things to build on, but it was just a disappointing night. We didn't play well for whatever reason. We were flat. I don't know if we just were still never recovered from last week's game or what, or all the injuries we've had. I mean, those are all excuses, and they're not good, but right now we're just not we're not playing like a very good football team, and we got to get some things right, because we're in a hole. We got to dig ourselves out of it right now, and that's all I can say. But we'll look at the film. There'll be positive things from it, but we got 2 weeks to get ready for our next opponent. I know it's Allen Eagles, and that's not an easy one right now. Like, goodness gracious, why don't we just play the Green Bay Packers? But there's things we got to get better on, obviously. And right now, I don't even know where to start. But we'll look at the film, and we'll get to work, and we'll figure out what we need to do.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
And Brad, you've known Brian Brazel as long as I have, maybe even a little bit longer. And his reference to the Green Bay Packers goes right back to the reference we had earlier in the game, how Hebron it's been that kind of a year. Every week, it's somebody that you see making them, has a Des Bryant type of night. And last week with the Hopkins kid, he runs the football like Adrian Peterson does. It's just that kind of a season, and you can just hear it in Brian's voice. He's just very, very disappointed, I think, and not for himself by any way. He's very disappointed for his players and his seniors.
Well, he is, and you can tell he's searching and keep on searching for answers, ways to fill up the cavities. And he's not going to give up searching. That's the hardest thing. Yeah. That's
the hardest thing, because when you think you have a plan, and you heard it, and I still think that loss last week carried over to this week. That was a hard one, and a lot of people got dinged up, and I think it's hard to get that one out of your system. Now you got 2 weeks, and like you said, you got the two-time defending state champions and a young man by the name of Kyler Murray, who's knocking on the door to be playing college football in a couple of years, and it'll be pretty interesting.
Special. Trent, you look at this one statistically and recall at halftime, Lewisville with 97 total yards, Hebron with 88 through 2 quarters. Those numbers blew up in the second half considerably.
Yeah, Lewisville ended the game with 322 yards, so 225 additional yards there in the second half. There were 27 rushes for 122 yards, just over a 4.5 yard per carry. And, we talked about earlier, Adrian Villarreal, 18 for 27, 200 yards to total those 322. The Hebron Hawks on the other side gained 175 yards in the second half, bringing their total to 263, well under their average so far for this year. 37 rushing attempts, 183 yards, about 5 yards per carry. 4 for 11, throwing the ball for 80 yards. 2 of those significantly, 80 out of those 80 yards, 2 of those came on a couple of second-half passes from Richard Dodd. But 2 big turnovers for the Hebron Hawks as well.
Both cashed in.
And, Hebron had an issue with penalties tonight. 8 penalties, 85 yards, a couple of them at crucial times, one on a kickoff return for a touchdown, another one on a personal foul that gave Lewisville a first down in the second half, and they continue to drive in for a touchdown. So,
individual numbers, I would assume that Hebron highlighted by another terrific effort by Angelo Garbett, and the numbers will attest to that.
Angelo Garbett, 18 carries, 114 yards, a couple touchdown carries. Trey Pugh had only one touchdown carry, for Angelo Garbett, but Trey Pugh had 7 carries for 32 yards, and Dodd had 5 carries for 6 yards and a touchdown. So his first touchdown at the varsity level.
2 catches for Joe Martin to lead the way.
2 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. And Dodd finished 4 of 7 for 80 yards. So 68 of those 80 yards to Joe Martin on the same drive.
Lewisville's Adrian Villarreal, the junior quarterback, did it behind a pretty good-sized and pretty talented offensive line, but I'm sure he's the leading Farmer rusher, and I want to look at his passing numbers, particularly to the combination of Trinity Benson along with Cameron Creel.
Adrian Villarreal, 15 carries, 87 yards. Nobody else on the Lewisville roster had more than 12, who was Carl McGee. Passing the ball, 18 for 27, 200 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Those 3 touchdown passes to Trinity Benson, who had 9 receptions, 141 yards, plus he had the
80-yard
punt return for a touchdown. Cameron Creel also had a really nice night, 7 catches for 64 yards.
So of his 18 completions, 16 to that combination of Benson and Creel.
That's exactly right.
Peter?
And I'd go out on a limb and say 80% of them were 5 or 6 yard passes, and most of those yards were made after the catch.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
They sure will.
They love that little bubble screen type of
couldn't control it
over on the edge.
Bottom line, that was the bottom line right there. And final thought: it's you got a bye week, you got a chance to get a bunch of kiddos healthy. But you get kids healthy, but then, like Coach Brazel said, the Green Bay Packers are coming to town. So, and the Allen Eagles. So, be interesting. Look forward to it, though. It's always fun to watch Allen play football and listen to that bad and be annoying. But we'll have fun. We'll make it a fun time.
Peter, I'll see you then. October 10th, our next broadcast from Hawk Stadium, Hebron and Allen. The Hebron Hawks on Champion Sports Radio. The broadcast of Lewisville ISD football has been brought to you tonight by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. With a new or used Jeep Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram from Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, you'll get a reliable and a stylish new car, and you'll get that at a price that won't break the bank. By Whirly Ball, with 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hurst. Leagues are forming right now. Visit them online at whirlyball.info. By In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company, online at incommandbroadcasting.com. By Point of Origin Design, a full-service design and logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products, online at pointoforigindesign.com. By ShockboxDFW.com. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. By the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. To enjoy a cultural experience, do it with your family without breaking that bank. Visit GDYO.org for more information. A reminder that Hebron Hawks football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio on Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. For my partner Pete Nielsen, for the Lynch tandem, statistician Trent, and our remote engineer producer Weston Lynch, I'm Brad Denton from Max Goldsmith Stadium, reminding you of our final score one final time. Lewisville defeats Hebron tonight. The Fighting Farmers 38 and the Hawks 20. Until our next broadcast in a couple of weeks, thanks for joining us. So long, everybody.